Hi, everyone. Hello. I'm Alexandra Billings. I'm so excited about this human because this particular human being in my life has been a guide as well as a friend, a colleague, and is probably one of the funniest people I've ever met in my entire life. I fell in love with her when she was on the soap operas a long time ago, and just a couple of years ago, and we actually had a chance to work together. She is the winner of three, count 'em, Tony Awards and two Emmy Awards. Her bio is huge, but she wouldn't let me say the whole thing. She's like, no, 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 just a couple of lines. And I'm like, well, you're an icon, but okay, it's your bio. She starred in many, many iconic TV shows that deal with the LGBTQIA plus community. One of them being, of course, a little show called Transparent. I remember that show. Another show called The Assassination of Gianni Versace. Excellent show. Love Ryan Murphy. And when she just completed, called The Politician, which drops on June 19th, not very far away, where she got to work with Bette Midler. Uh, I mean, a room full of icons. I just want to be the grip on that show. I just want to bring people donuts. So please welcome my very good friend and one of the community's very good friends, Judith Light.
Oh my God, we
We
did
did
it!
it.
We did. You look gorgeous.
I do. Thank you, love.
You really look
Oh,
so gorgeous.
oh,
Hi,
bless you.
honey.
Hi, my
I'm,
darling.
I
I
miss you.
I miss you too. I miss you so much. You know, we all talk. People think that you do a TV show and then you kind of go away, but it's sort of when you spend a couple of years,
Yeah.
it really becomes a family that doesn't really leave each other.
Yeah. And I know that as soon as the quarantine hit here in New York, you went back to LA. Are you okay there? Is everything okay?
Everything's, it's a strange time, so
Yeah.
it's a weird strange time that we're living in, but I married up. So when this thing happened, when this thing happened,
She is fabulous, I have to say.
she's the greatest, really.
Chrisanne
I
is
wish I
pretty
wish I
amazing.
could show you the spread she laid out. We have so much food here. It's insane. We have like this is what she did. I told her I was hungry. She made what is that? What is going what is are you,
Yeah. Yeah.
so the minute this happened, she got me on a plane. She said, "You're get on a plane," and I said, "I have a
Wow.
contract with a Broadway show." And she said, "Get up."
Yeah.
So I left really early. How are you?
Yeah.
How are things there, Judith?
It's okay. My husband Robert's novel was published at the end of February. It's called The Occurrence, if anybody's reading these days. And we had this big event for him at the Strand Rare Books Room. And he left. This was the beginning of March. He left right away and went back to LA. And I was staying here because I was going to finish shooting The Politician and this film with Lin-Manuel Miranda called Tick, Tick, Boom. And everything on Friday the 13th was completely put on hold.
Yeah.
So I'm in New York and he's in LA.
And you're,
So,
oh, how's that? Is
and
that okay?
it's okay because whenever I do a show in New York, he'll come in maybe once a month, and so we're kind of used to it. So it's okay. It's not the best, and it's not anybody's first choice, but at least we're hanging in. And may I say, Happy Pride, even considering what's happening in the world right now. Please, you're amazing community, amazing.
Well,
Um,
I just want to say, because we don't have very long, everybody's only talking for like 3 minutes, but I want to say, since you opened this beautiful parade of ours, I just want to say, before I ask you the question I'm going to ask you, I just want to say how important, and I tell you this all the time, but now I'm going to tell you in front of the world, how important you are to us, how important you've been to us for decades. Judith Light was doing work for the LGBTQIA community at a time when it was dangerous. And what I mean by that is when the HIV virus first began, I know you hate this, when the HIV virus first began, she was one of the few, besides maybe Elizabeth Taylor, at the same time that was coming out, holding us, seeing us, speaking for us when we couldn't speak, and allowing us to speak when we wanted to.
you're more than generous, and it, you know this better than almost anybody. One of the things that I love so much about you is that you call us all humans, which is like my favorite thing. When this started happening, this was before you were born, in the early 80s, and people were dying in our community, in the theater community, and all around the country, and nobody knew what was happening. And when you have family, people that are not necessarily blood related, but chosen family, something had to be said and something had to be done. And in many ways, I took a page out of Elizabeth Taylor's book. Elizabeth was, as you said, she was extraordinary, but it was the community that really was the voice of themselves. It was that kind of resilience and that kind of inspiration in the way that everybody was relating. And sad to say, we don't have Larry Kramer with us today, who would have so appreciated, celebrating 50 years of Pride. So there was it was the community, and that was what was so inspiring. And there wasn't a moment hesitation. It had to be spoken. It had to be done. It's like your family's dying and you have to talk about it. So that's how I felt about it.
If you had something, one last thing before I let you go, if you had something to say to the LGBT community on this day, on the 50th year of our celebrating our own revolution, is there something you would say to the community now? A few words you would like to give us?
Oh, you are an inspiration. I've said it many times. It is your resilience and your magnificence and your honoring of who you are. And the fact that you lead us all and show us all what it means to be our true selves, our authentic selves, in our power, and how we live in a world where we see now in so many ways how difficult it is, what oppression does to people, and that there is always someone in the world, a community in the world, that deems another community the other and tries to oppress them. You will be the standard bearers for this moment in time. It is you that will be the difference. You are the magic, and it is perfectly appropriate that you are wearing fairy wings. I love you so much, and I am so grateful to this community. You supported me transforming my life, and I would say many, many more years of great pride and love to all of you.
The great Judith Light, multi-award winner, my friend, my colleague, my pal, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, my love. Bye. I love you. Oh my goodness, Judith Light. So, my eyelashes are coming off now because I'm crying. And I knew that was going to happen. So I have my eyelash glue somewhere. I have to find my eyelash glue. Shall we move on? Shall we keep going? I think we should. Let's do that. Let's keep going. Oh, kids, she killed me. That's Judith Light. I want to introduce the Lavender Effect, who started this event. They were the ones that begat this idea. Andy is the founding executive and the creative director of the Lavender Effect, which is a nonprofit, just for those of you who need some information. It's a nonprofit organization. It's of community partners that is advancing the future of LGBT history and allied heritage and culture. So it's the keeper of the keys. They're the Mary Morton of the cell block tango. of gayness. So please welcome Andy Secker, please. Where are you, darling?
Alexandra, this has been such a pleasure, such an honor to do this project with Schmengi Inc. You and your wife are just amazing, and we're really, really grateful to have you partnering with us. Oh my gosh, she also serves breakfast.
This is just one plate.
So yeah, that looks yummy. So what the Lavender Effect, as you said, is all about is advancing the future of LGBT heritage and culture. And what that really means is, as a people, as Judith Light was pointing out, we're a special people. We're helping to advance society. And the effect that we have is very positive. In fact, our positive effect on history has been erased for many years and kind of kept in the dark. We've been kept in the dark. Now that it's the 50th anniversary of the Pride celebrations from coast to coast, we have to celebrate this, even though our world seems like it may be falling apart. We have to look at the positive side. We have to look at the hopeful side. And the Lavender Effect focuses on celebrating that history, teaching that history to our young people, and paying it forward. You've heard of the butterfly effect, right? So the Lavender Effect is the queer version of the butterfly effect. We all have.
Clever. That's okay. Mm-hmm.
So we are all having a tremendous positive impact.
That's great.
On society, and that needs to be celebrated, recognized, encouraged, and that's what the Lavender Effect is all about. And every single person involved in this panel discussion today is doing that.
That's so beautiful. You're amazing, and you couldn't look gayer. Listen, I'm going to go because I have to fix my eyelash. Literally, I cried my eyelash off, which I knew was going to happen. So I'm going to go and hand it over to you, my friend, okay?
So I have the great pleasure today of launching our virtual Pride Parade officially with an amazing group from Chicago. Today, Bikes and Mics are going to be launching. In fact, I hear them now.
Yeah.
Hey, Tamale Sepp, how are you?
What's up, guys? Hold on.
Oh my gosh.
Can you turn off?
Excellent. So take it away. Tell us a little bit about your organization and launch our parade.
Hey there, Andy. Just wanted to say thank you so much for having us. We're going to cut our mics for a second so you can hear me. Thank you very much. So we are Bikes and Mics. We're based out of Chicago, Illinois. We just wanted to say thank you so much for having us as part of your virtual Pride this year. We want to pay homage. We know that the Lavender Effect is a lot about respecting and honoring our elders in the LGBTQ community. And we wanted to say thank you and pay homage to the leather women who stepped in the 80s and took over when the AIDS crisis was happening, and then began to lead all the pride parades with the Dykes on Bikes, etc. And now in 2020, Bikes and Mics is committed to having every member have a voice. We have transgender people in our group. We have a really diverse group. We're really happy to have that. And we'd like to say thank you to everyone. We're actually in iconic Boys Town, Chicago right now, and we're gonna lead off this parade in iconic Boys Town, Chicago. And thank you for having us. We're gonna go ahead and be loud now, so adjust your mics accordingly. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yay!
Oh my God. I hope they can see us. Woohoo!
Yay!
That's unbelievable. Wow, wait. I just keep saying wow. I was like, wow. I can't stop weeping. You know, I've known these women, well, this club anyway, for years, many years. And quite frankly, it's not pride unless the Dykes on Bikes ride by. So that's incredible. Am I on? Should I keep talking? I'm just talking. This is
You are on. You are on.
This is actually what I do like when I'm alone. I like just, I turn, well, everybody keeps going, hi, Mel. Everybody keeps going, oh my God, I love your big gay unicorn.
I know. Well, so you have the fairy. I have that. I call him Harvey.
Oh,
Fierstein for Harvey.
Sure.
You know, yeah,
yes,
of course.
As you do.
And a word out to our dearly departed Larry.
Yes, we want to dedicate our, you know, it's a very big day today. We definitely want to dedicate our parade today to many humans, but mainly to Mr. Larry Kramer, who was a very dear friend of both of ours, my wife's. I keep looking over there like you can see her. She's sitting over there with my cat. My wife's and mine, Larry and I did a show at the Bailiwick Theater in Chicago many years ago, and since then we were very good friends. And he passed 2 days ago, and he was a champion of our community and a voice for generations to come. So his memory is with us all day today. Should we keep going? I think we should keep going. Is that okay? Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes.
This next human being and I have known each other since 1923. She is far older than I am, which is odd. She's a multi-award-winning actress and author and nightclub entertainer. She is a Chicago icon. We've performed together many times, once in a play called Diva Diaries, where she literally fell off the lip of the stage, got knocked out, and was literally unconscious for 3 minutes, woke up, got back up, climbed back up on stage, and finished the number with a tambourine in her hand. That's a true story. We also did Vampire Lesbians of Sodom together as actresses, and then I directed her in a production of that. And then we did Applause, where I played Margot Channing and she didn't. We have sung together many times for years at the Gentry and many clubs in Chicago. We did a show together called A Lot of Livin', which will interestingly be broadcast much like this, live, not live, but the tape will be there, and then Honey and I will be live in June in celebration of Pride Month. So you can look for that. She was inducted to the Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame in 2012. And just last year, she was nominated for a Joseph Jefferson Award for her amazing performance in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. And so without further ado, please welcome my bestie and a Chicago legend, Miss Honey West.
Ladies and gentlemen, and those of us who have yet to decide, welcome Chicago legend Honey West, accompanied by AJA Dance Troupe.
I don't tell me not to fly, I simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Don't bring around the clouds, you rain on my parade. I don't tell me not to live, just sitting like candy in the sun's a ball of light. Who told you you're allowed to rain on my parade? Gonna march my band out, I'll beat my drum, and if I'm banned out, answer. Hey, at least I didn't fake it. Answer to what I didn't make it. But whether I'm the rose of sheer perfection or freckle on the nose of life's complexion, the cinder or the shining apple of its eye. I gotta fly once, I gotta try once, only can I once right, sir. Ooh, love is juicy, juicy, and you see, I gotta have my bite, sir. So get ready for me, love, cause I simply gotta march my heart to drum. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade. I gotta fly once, I gotta try once, only can die once right, sir. Oh, love is juicy, juicy, and you see, I gotta have my bite, sir. Get ready for me, love, cause I'm a comer. I've simply gotta march my heart to drum. Nobody, I said nobody, nobody had better rain on my parade.
I think all parades should be air conditioned. How about that?
You look like you look fantastic.
Thank you. Well, I'm here with Derek Taylor at Taylor & Co. Events. He did my makeup, my hair, designed the float, the AJA Talent Dancers, Becca Kaufman's music studio, Beatnik Studio, and Ashwin Tork, who engineered the track. We did all of this in a week because we were so excited to make sure that this year we did have a parade, and every parade needs a float.
Girl, and you are just the gal to bring that float.
Well, yes, with this guy alone.
My God. You know, first of all, can I talk about your hair? What the, it's just a little
It's all hers.
Well, she paid for it. I'm sure it's all hers. Girl, you really look incredible. That was fantastic. The dancers, the float, my God. Listen, you know, it's so weird interviewing you because we've known each other for 100 years, but I want to ask you, this is the 50th year of the parade. It's the 51st year of our revolution. So I just want to know if you have anything during this 50th year that you want to say to the LGBT, community about where we are or what you hope or anything at all.
I do, I've heard you say this many times. All of us are standing on the shoulders of the people before us, and those people and those people and those people. The younger generation, I'm not always sure understand that they're standing on the shoulders of so many who bled and fought and struggled. And so if it would be one desire for them to actually know that, and I guess now, the younger generation maybe didn't have any of the struggles we did. I'm certainly sure they have their own struggles, but they didn't have those struggles. And now it looks like they're going to have to start fighting. And for the older ones of us who have been through many struggles and many fights, they can look to us for strength because we know that we can come out the other end, and we know how this all works, and we know that many people are going to be hurt and a lot of blood can be shed. So I pray that they look towards us, and I pray one thing: the way that people can easily hate is if you chip away at their humanity. During the Holocaust, they called Jewish people vermin, and during slavery, they were considered livestock or less than people. In North Carolina, I believe still, if I went there, I couldn't pee because I'm a pedophile and a rapist. So if you chip away at people's humanity, just like what's happened recently with Black Lives Matter, it's brought to light even more viciously exactly what's happening with racism in our country. And if you look at somebody on the street dying right in front of you, being murdered, and you don't care because you don't see them as a person, that means someone, and many people, have stripped away at their humanity, and that means it's okay to hate them and it's okay to create violence. So we have to hang on to our humanity, and we have to look to the people who've been through these struggles and embrace them.
Honey West, that was absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much, my beautiful friend. Thank you for taking time. That was, I love you more than I can tell you. Thank you for that. I'm glad you brought your house with you. That was really appreciated. And thank all of those beautiful dancers and everyone involved in your fabulous production. And thank you, my friend. Thank you for taking time.
Stunning, by the way.
Thanks, girl.
We love you, Alex.
Yeah.
And we love you. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Amazing. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to bring back Mel. Mel, you want to come back?
Oh my God, that was just so, number one, the production value was.
Listen, you can't do better than Honey West. When you'd ask Honey West to do something, I literally said, can you just come on and do a thing? And she, went to Cher's house and rented her apartment and then brought it with her. I'm going to go and leave this to you now. Is that okay?
Yes, please. We'll have the next float. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll see you in a minute. And so next, everybody, we have the prestigious City Controller of the City of Los Angeles, Mr. Ron Galperin. He was elected originally in 2013 and again in 2017. He serves as the watchdog for taxpayers at City Hall, and we certainly need some of those, making sure that our public dollars are spent efficiently and effectively. Ron is joining us with his husband, Rabbi Zachary Shapiro, and their beautiful family. Welcome, Ron Galperin and family.
Hi, great to be with you. I'm Ron Galperin, Controller of the city, and glad to be also the first out and proud citywide elected official in the city of LA. And I'm here with my husband.
Hi, everyone. Rabbi Zach Shapiro from Temple Akiba in Culver City with our almost 9-month-old twins, Maya and Eli.
And we come together today to mark the 50th anniversary, of course, of LA Pride and of Pride generally. It's a time to give thanks. It's a time to celebrate. It's a time to find pacifiers. It's a time that we commemorate, but it's also a time, let's be honest right now, of challenges in Los Angeles and cities across the country and in the world.
We are in a world where homophobia, transphobia, xenophobia, racism, all of them are still very much with us. A time when we've lost 100,000 to COVID-19, when too many have lost their work and don't know where their next meal is coming from.
And in these days, of course, we've witnessed again the taking of life of George Floyd by people who were sworn to protect and to preserve life. And last night in LA and in cities across the nation, what we witnessed was really heart-wrenching in terms of burning and looting in our cities. And there's much to protest about peacefully, but we really urge a time of peace and of goodness.
We, the LGBTQI+ community, can help to show a way to healing, recovery, justice, and peace. Our community, which was ravaged by AIDS, our lives, which were outlawed and still are in parts of the world, our trans family that too often live in fear of violence, suffer discrimination daily.
I think about the words of Martin Luther King that are as true today as they ever were, which is the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And we know that love and goodness and justice and peace will ultimately triumph. And we have the ability to do that by celebrating in pride, by building pride. And without pride, I wouldn't be here today. we wouldn't be here today, and we certainly wouldn't be here as a married couple with our 2 beautiful children.
We embrace them and the future they represent, a future free of discrimination and racism, a future of equal opportunity, of fairness, peace, love, and pride.
And may we see these as a reality
speedily
in
and in our days.
You want to come back here, Eli, to say goodbye? Goodbye to everybody. This is your close-up. Are you ready for your close-up, darling? Are you ready for your close-up?
Say goodbye, Maya and Eli.
Happy Pride, everybody.
Happy Pride, kids. Oh my gosh. I make the same sound. I'm going to introduce our next guest, which I'm very excited about. Michael is also an icon. We have so many icons today that took time out of their day to come and see us. I'm so excited. He is a long-running columnist and TV commentator. I don't know what's the matter with me. For, of course, The Village Voice, and also Theater Talk, also for books like Downtown and Manhattan on the Rocks. He and I have spoken many times over the phone, but we rarely get to see each other. I see him a lot on documentaries, just his face and him talking about gay things. So please welcome Michael Musto. Is he?
Darling, do you hear me? They unmuted me. Can you hear me?
You're unmuted. You're unmuted.
I never realized what a great fairy you are. You're fantastic.
Thank you so much. I've been told that since I was about 5.
Me too.
I love the lashes behind you. Can we talk about those for a second? What's going on?
I actually found that on the street, and it wasn't looting. Somebody had abandoned it, and I was like, this is great in my house. So I hosed it down, and I hosed myself down, and it looks fabulous, right? It's called Feng Shui. It's gay Feng Shui. Anyway, Alexandra, I do not have a production number, so I'm just going to speak. Is that okay?
It's fine.
What I want to say to the community is be your own kind of queer. There are guidelines put upon us by sometimes our own community who could be our own worst oppressors. You have to be this kind of transgender person. You have to be that kind of bisexual. And from the outside world of homophobes. And that's all baloney. Growing up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn in the 1960s in the Civil War, I had no gay representation at all, so I didn't know what kind of queer I was going to be. Then in the 1970s, I noticed everyone on Christopher Street was dressed like the Village People. Remember the gay disco group of macho stereotypes? And I was like, that's not me. That's not the kind of queer I'm going to be. And I waited it out until the 80s, and I found my place in the nightlife where we create this wonderful, dysfunctional, but loving family of people who weren't loved enough as kids, because let's face it, none of us were. And we all celebrated each other for what we used to get made fun of in the high school cafeteria. And suddenly we could reach inside ourselves and dig out our inner celebutante and become fabulous fairy tale creatures. And that's the kind of queer I am. And that's the kind I want everyone to be. Just be yourself as long as you're responsible and professional and loving. And let me just segue to my final thought. I sound like Andy Rooney or something. Or I sounded a little bit like Glinda from The Wiz there, didn't I?
Yeah.
The most unique queer of all time, and you've mentioned him already, is Larry Kramer, who we lost recently. Larry battled AIDS starting in 1988. Larry was the ultimate author. He wrote Faggots. He wrote The Normal Heart. I won't mention the musical version of Lost Horizon. That was terrible. Okay, no mention. But he also was a fiery activist. You look up the word angry in the dictionary, you see Larry's face. He was angry at the foes who made our lives miserable. He was angry at our community when we did self-defeating things. He was always angry at the young generation of gays, saying, you're not doing enough. Facebook isn't enough. You're just kind of venting and preaching to the converted. Get your asses out there and fight for your rights, especially as Donald Trump is taking them away one by one. I think Larry would have looked on the incredible protests going on now, not the looting, not me taking that eyelash picture, but the protests and the channeling of anger about George Floyd's death. And Larry is giving his benediction and saying, thank you for channeling your anger and letting the world see that oppressed people will not be beaten down anymore. In 2011, New York State approved same-sex marriage, and Larry was mad at the people celebrating that was a triumph, because he said that the DOMA the Defense of Marriage Act had not been repealed yet. So the gay marriages in 2011 in New York State were kind of bogus. They were feel good, he felt. They were not on an even keel with the straight marriages. 2 years later, DOMA was repealed. And what I loved about Larry was celebrating was not in his DNA. He wanted to be angry. I saw his sweet side when he complimented me on an article. I went through the roof. You knew what that was like, Alexandra. To get his approval was a benediction from a god. But what we'll always remember him for is that rage. And we have to keep that in our hearts. Fight for justice, fight for equality. Happy Pride, everybody. I love you all so much.
Thank you so much, Michael. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Mwah.
Thank you very much. My goodness. My goodness, that's fantastic. You know, we're so lucky to have these people not only just come on our join us on the parade, but to be alive and still speaking. Isn't it, you know, Mel, isn't it great to sort of be part of the queer community right now, because the world is on fire, things are falling apart around us, and yet we have voices like Michael who are able to ignite hope and remembrance. I mean, it's just extraordinary to me, really.
It is extraordinary. And I when I got to New York City as a young gay kid, I started reading The Village Voice every single week with Michael Musto's column, and he educated me about culture and everything gay. And like, look, I'm wearing the disco shirt. See, amazing. Okay, so next up we are so honored to have the mayor of West Hollywood, Lindsey Horvath. She was elected to West Hollywood City Council since 2009, and she has specifically spearheaded policies to make West Hollywood an age-friendly community. Please welcome Mayor Lindsey Horvath. You're on. I see your gay shirt. Yeah.
I did. Gay, fine by me. This was my t-shirt when we created the Gay Straight Student Alliance at my college back in 2004. We know that this was intended to be inclusive of our whole LGBTQ family. And I just want to thank everyone who has been in the movement for generations. We stand on so many shoulders today because of their fight and their success, and their leadership and their strength. And so in West Hollywood, for us, Pride is something we live every day. It is about being out, celebrating who we are as community and in community. It's not about tolerating or accepting. It's really celebrating who we are in all of our diversity. And right now we need that more than ever. We see that there are so many struggles happening on the streets. And we had a really tough night in West Hollywood last night, but we know that we will be stronger together. We are united, and we are coming together to help lift one another up. We know it's a difficult time. We have to stand with our Black family, our brothers and sisters, and non-binary family to make sure that their rights are protected in this time. As we fought in the Stonewall riots, we will continue the fight today. And so I just want to say thank you to everyone who made this possible. Shout out to Andy, the genius who brought all of us together. And we're sending you lots of love from West Hollywood, which is always your home.
Thank you so much. Okay, so next up, we have another really amazing activist, a person that's brought a lot of happiness and nourishment to our community. Richard Ayub is the executive director of Project Angel Food, and they've been delivering food to humans living with HIV/AIDS for the last 30 years. Please welcome Mr. Richard Ayub.
Hi, Mel. Thank you so much for introducing me and inviting me. Mayor Horvath, I'm very, very proud of the city I live in, West Hollywood, and how quickly you all reacted to what was happening in our community yesterday by calling a curfew before Mayor Garcetti called it for the entire city of Los Angeles. And that helped me feel safe, even though some of the looters were just 2 blocks away from where I live. And so talking about that and talking about the pandemic, it's challenging for a lot of us to find things to celebrate and to be happy about. And if you're in that place today on this Sunday, I would encourage you to look no farther than Project Angel Food. I call that building at 922 Vine Street a sanctuary of goodness. Things happen here. I'm actually at the kitchen upstairs in my office. Things happen here 6 days a week that are simply magical. And there was a point when 80% of our kitchen was manned by volunteers. And as soon as the pandemic happened, 22 corporate groups canceled within 24 hours. But what I can tell you is our community came through for us. I put out an urgent call for volunteers, and in 24 hours later, 300 people stepped up and started volunteering for us. And then when we realized that all of our fundraisers were canceled, we asked for donations. 7,000 people donated to us, from $2 to $20 to $200. And one of those donors came directly to Project Angel Food with a stack of money. He said, I want to make a donation. And he came up to our development team and he said, I've always loved Project Angel Food. I've always loved what you do. I got my stimulus check and I don't need it. Here it is. It was 12 $100 bills. Those are the kinds of people who come and help this amazing organization, who care about their fellow men. And there was a time early on when we decided to give all of our clients hand sanitizer, toilet paper, I call it Operation Toilet Paper, and masks to protect them and to keep them secure during this time. And I said, I don't want to spend thousands of dollars buying masks. We made an appeal and we got 13,000 masks donated to us. So if you want to look at where the beauty is in this city and where the beauty is and where the heart is, look here. This is where we find it every single day. And I just want to remind, thank you. I just want to remind everyone that we were born in 1989 in response to the AIDS crisis. Marianne Williamson was so worried about her friends dying of AIDS. She wanted to send them love, and love in the form of food. Now, 30 years later, we have another pandemic. We continue to feed people living with HIV, people with heart disease, lung disease, diabetes, kidney failure, and all forms of cancer. And so we truly believe we were born for this moment. And so I am proud to say that for the entire length of this pandemic, Project Angel Food has remained open, and we have not missed one single delivery for one single client. And not only have we done that, we've hired some out-of-work, thank you, Kai, we've hired some out-of-work restaurant chefs who are replacing volunteers so we can stay safer. And we've added 400 people to our program this month alone. So now we're serving 2,000 people a day. So thank you all. You're all idols and heroes to me. It's my honor to be in the same company with you. Alexandra, we've spoken on the phone. I'm glad to see you on this call. And let's celebrate the goodness.
Yay, Richard Ayub, thank you so much. That was awesome. Next up, we've got really another incredible activist and member of our community, Community Relations and Recruitment Director and fundraiser for Colors LGBTQ Youth Counseling Service. They provide free counseling for youth under 25, their partners, and their families in the greater LA area. It is none other than Cynthia Ruffin. Hello, Cynthia.
Hello, everybody in pandemic time. This is my Colors bandana that I've got on. Wonderful to see you on. So fabulous to be on here with all of you. Alexandra Billings, yay. Thank you. Richard Ayub, you are a rock star. I think you're amazing. So happy Digital Pride to everybody. It's so good to be here with you all, especially in this time. What's so important, I mean, especially with the work that we do, right? We do mental health care for young queer identified young people. And one of the important things about that is in this whole time of physical distancing, there's got to be, social solidarity that continues to happen, community that continues to happen. And that's what we've been able to do at Colors, which has been so wonderful. Right as soon as all of this hit, Colors went right to teletherapy. So we kept on providing services and the need went up. Things like this happen when disaster comes. Marginalized communities are so often disproportionately affected by everything that happens, and our queer youth are affected even more than that. So I'm so glad to say that we've continued to stay in it, and as we grow into our 10th year, next year will be our 10th year of doing this, providing free and unlimited mental health care for young people who are queer identified, for their families, for their partners as well. All of our therapists are trained in the LGBT affirmative therapy program at Antioch University. And I really just, a little bit about, what we do. So that's it. But really, I want to be here just to say that it is so important to continue the work that we do, continue to step in and step in and step in, because so much is going on, right? There isn't only one fight. There are all of these fights that we're fighting. And Mike Musto said it so well when he said, there are all of these things and we have to step into each one of them. Black lives matter, y'all. Queer lives matter. Trans women who are being killed so much, our lives matter, every single one of us. So I am glad to be in here, glad to be in this work, in this struggle, in this fight, in this celebration with all of you, because I think what revolutionaries do, one of the things that we do the best is we dance. So it's so good to be in this celebration. And as I sign off, I just want to I've got my life journey partner who is here with me. She is a beautiful activist herself, and she's going to read a beautiful piece for you. Her name is Sequoia Thompson here with me, and go take it away.
Yes, okay, awesome. Oh, thank you so much. I wasn't sure if she was going to invite me, and I'm honored and I'm blessed, and I love you so much. And I want to read something, and it kind of expands what was already said, which I think is the whole point of this conversation. But it comes from this book right here from Audre Lorde, and it's from her essay of Age, Race, Class, and Sex. Change means growth. And growth can be painful, but we sharpen self-definition by exposing the self and work and struggle together with those whom we define as different from ourselves, although sharing the same goals. For Black and white, old and young, lesbian and heterosexual women alike, this can mean new paths to our survival. We have chosen each other, and now it's a poem. We have chosen each other, and the edge of each other's battles, the war is the same. If we lose, someday women's blood will congeal upon the dead planet. If we win, there is no telling. We seek beyond history for a new and more possible meeting. And I just wanted to add that. We are all in different struggles and we are in the same war. And I am just so honored, and thank you for inviting me to this.
Absolutely. Happy Digital Pride, everybody. See you all the rest of the summer. Big love.
Amazing. Thank you, humans. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, and we have disco passing us. Disco and motorcycles, for heaven's sake. I want to bring up our next human who is one of my favorite people. She and I keep meeting at the strangest places. We keep meeting at sort of GLAAD events and HRC events. She's not only hilarious and she's an intelligent comedian, which makes me really happy, always, always. She has rooftop rants on her Instagram that if you haven't checked out, listen to what I'm saying to you, fellow queer humans. Get thee to Instagram. Go to Dana Goldman's Instagram page. You won't be Sorry. Dana is a comedian that's been seen all over the place, TBS and ABC, and she's also been on Last Comic Standing. She performs all over the world. She's also helped to raise more than $30 million. That's $30 million for LGBTQ equality. And I've seen her raise money. Anybody would give her money, and anyone has. She's also raised money for women's rights as well as HIV and AIDS education and prevention. Please welcome Dana Goldberg to the Live Pride Parade. Are you there,
Alex,
Donna?
my baby? Yes, I am here. Look it. I'm as bright as I can be. As bright as I can be. And I've been super gay this morning. I have played like lesbian. I played softball. I made hummus. I adopted 3 stray dogs that have just been running around my neighborhood. That's what I've been doing. I love that thank you for mentioning the rooftop rants. And I love that we confuse Jews all the time. It's Goldberg. Everything's fine.
I know. I'm a terrible person. I literally, I screwed up Michael's name. I've known Michael for like 20 years, and I said Michael Mustard. So that's the way it's going today.
Yes. Instagram DG Comedy, go there. That's where the rooftop rants are. Happy Pride, everyone that's watching. Baby, I didn't know you were back in Los Angeles. I would have tried to social distance with you sooner. I know
exactly.
But it's good. I love your fairy wings. I'm doing the best I can. I want to say something to everyone watching, especially the LGBTQ youth out there. This pandemic has been strange for a lot of us, but if you are in a place where for some reason you don't feel safe, just know that there are places that you can call and you can go. If you are not feeling as welcome and loved as you should be in the place where you've had to shelter at home, just know you have a community out there and we love you. We are here for you. So make a phone call or an email. Just please reach out because you are perfect and we need you. We need you for this fight. So just stay with us. Stay with us.
That's amazing. Hey, Dana, what are you doing next? Where can people see you? I want the world to see you as the world does, but I want the more of the queer world to see you.
Thank you. I would love to say I'm doing a Facebook Live, I believe, a Pride show. I believe it's June 12th. It's so hard because of the pandemic, all of my work got wiped out for the year. So I've been trying to do some virtual things and say hello here and just trying to stay as positive as we can. You know, Alex, I do want to say something as Pride is upon us, and I know that there's a lot of people that have been in this fight since the beginning of Stonewall. We have to remember was a 5-day uprising, and I think that our community needs to be careful and also aware of, even though we're still fighting our fight, we have privilege. There's privilege in this community, and we need to acknowledge that. And so instead of maybe telling how people to fight this fight, we also need to listen, stand next to them, stand in front and protect them, and make sure that they know we are here for them instead of telling them how to do it.
Oh,
That's
man.
what I want to make sure we do.
Bam! Ka-chow!
I love you.
I love you. Thank you, Dana.
We need to listen. Happy Pride, everyone. I don't know how much time it is, but I know we're behind. Alex, I love you. Let's get together. Happy Pride. I know you can't do parades, and I know we can't get together and celebrate, but you can still be out loud and proud and make sure they hear your voices. We will never be silenced, and we will always be visible. I love you.
Thank you, love. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
This came from a very special person. My queer identifying daughter, Emma, as she celebrates her 13th birthday today. What messages do you have for today's youth?
Well, I think, you know, Dana said it perfectly, so I just want to echo what Dana just said, and I think that's use your voice for us, because we live in tumultuous times, as is always true of our community, in chaotic times. And I think what's important is for us, and it doesn't mean that you have to march, or you have to carry a sign, or if you don't go out in the streets, you're a terrible human being. That's not what it means. What it means is around the house, to your friends, in your diary, the TV shows you watch, the clothes you wear, the makeup you want to put on, the way you do your hair. That is all political. If you are living your life truthfully, you are being honest and you are an activist. That's what I would say. Live your life authentically, my friend.
Shall we go to Ezra? If it's Ezra, then that would be back to Alex. I just am checking in about...
Is it me?
Well, I'm thinking that since Cynthia already went, we kind of lost order. We went out of order, and then we're going back in order. And
I love it.
We do that. We're doing the dance.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'll introduce Ezra.
Awesome.
Keep dancing. This human being is one of my favorite artists. He's an out trans singer and composer who writes to change the landscape and to change humanity. His songs are brilliant. We actually met. This human being is one of my favorite artists. He's an out trans singer and composer who writes to change the landscape and to change humanity. His songs are brilliant. We actually met at the LGBT Center in Hollywood about 3 years ago, I think, and we've become family. So he also performed in my show at USC called I'm Still Queer. That's the pun. It was oh well, there go my notes. But I know who Ezra is, so I'm fine. Thank you, love. Thank you, Thing. He only a couple of people who are old got that joke. He's amazing, and he performed in my show at USC, which was a benefit for the Alexander Billings Scholarship, and his way with text, with words, with lyrics, and with music is really unparalleled. So please welcome my pal, Ezra Michel.
Hello, hi everyone. It's so good to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Normally during Pride celebrations, I'll play a song that's mostly about my transness or my queerness. I have a lot of songs about that, but in light of the events that are happening right now with the Black Lives Matter movement, I figured that I would play my new song that I wrote the other night when I couldn't sleep, because I think it's important to use any platform that I have right now to bring more light to this. So you're gonna be the first people to hear it. If you love somebody who is black, make it known. They are being killed in a country they call home. They don't even need to be carrying a weapon. Black people are murdered left and right for no good reason. Cause we live in a country that was founded on taking from the natives who were here first, no mistaking, and then taking people from their homeland overseas and making them slaves and owning them like property. But you could never truly own a human life, and white people continue saying that the black folks die, but we know that they were murdered. Language is imperative. We have to tell the truth. We can't just change the narrative. So why do I have to write this song? I know being quiet would be wrong. No, I don't know what it's like. Yes, I will continue to fight. I have so much privilege because my skin is light. Even though I'm Mexican, I mostly pass as white. Gotta show up to the protests and put my body there. If I can't go in person for some reason, I'll hit like and share. Don't be afraid to overload your Twitter and Instagram. If you've got a platform, big or small, I don't give a damn, and neither do the people who are fighting for their freedom. So stop to read and educate yourself on these ideas. Black Lives Matter, it's not up for debate. Black Lives Matter, we don't have time to wait. Black Lives Matter, white people make amends. Black Lives Matter, stop murdering my friends. If you've got opinions on how people should protest, you're no better than the cops arresting and policing us. Who are you to criticize centuries of anguish? If you don't stand by black folks, then who the hell do you stand with? It's us against the system made it so. We gotta burn it down so a new system can grow. Demand a safer future for all the young black kids. We can't expect equality if the game is rigged. Black Lives Matter, it's not up for debate. Black Lives Matter, we don't have time to wait. Black Lives Matter, white people make amends. Black Lives Matter, stop murdering my friends.
Oh boy, it's good to see you, Angel. It's so good to see you. Listen, I only have a few seconds with you, but I know you were at the protests in Los Angeles last night. What did you see? Not what did you see, but how do you feel? How do you feel? Can you explain how you feel?
I feel like it was really important for me as somebody who benefits from white privilege. Even if I'm brown, I'm still very light-skinned, and that is my armor in this world right now. And I felt like it was very important for me to put my body in between the cops and the black people at the protest. It really should just be white people protesting at this point, because it's very, very dangerous. And I felt like it was very important for me to be there. I was there until things got really explodey and fiery, literally. And then I felt like, okay, it's beyond me now. I have to keep myself safe so I can be of service in other ways, like writing this song and being here today. And my voice is very hoarse from yelling a lot, but I'm glad I could. That's an easy song to sing. It's not easy emotionally, but it's easy.
No, I can tell. I can feel it. Do you have, before I let you go, do you have something that you want to say to the trans community specifically on this day, especially because it's such a tumultuous time? Do you have anything you want to say, especially to your generation? Anything you want to say to them?
Listen to the elders in our community. They have a lot to teach us. And, we have a lot to learn. And I think it's really important to just keep our minds open and learn from our history, because the revolution runs in our blood and our DNA, and it is who we are. It's who we were born to be. So that all we have to do is tap into exactly who we are, and we will continue pushing this forward and pushing this movement forward. And Black Lives Matter, trans lives matter, Black trans lives really fucking matter.
Yes, indeedy. Thank you, love. Thank you, Angel. Thank you for doing this. I love you. Amazing.
And just so powerful, especially today.
Yeah, he's good people, and it's great to hear from that generation.
We are really honored to have with us today the president of PFLAG, the PFLAG National Board, Kathryn. PFLAG was founded in 1973 after the simple act of a mother publicly supporting her gay son. PFLAG is the nation's largest family and ally organization. Please welcome Kathryn.
Mel, you made me cry. I am so completely honored to be here today. And Ezra, that was absolutely amazing. Thank you for that. You just sort of set up here. We at PFLAG are so completely honored to be invited here. I'm the president of the PFLAG National Board, and we have, as a history of our organization, been very entrenched in Pride. And we are also approaching our 50th year. As you know, it was Jean Manford who walked in the New York City parade. And it was by her son's side, Morty, holding a sign saying, "I love my gay son." This is the foundation of our organization, the importance of family love, acceptance, and allies, acceptance and love and understanding. And I think that LGBTQ folks need to understand that we are still loving you and supporting you and standing beside you. I too have been very much saddened to acknowledge what's going on in our country right now. There is so much pain, there is so much rage, and it's in this feeling that we are sort of hopeless. And the violence and the systemic racism has touched us all in a way that we are sort of shocked. We're sort of living in shock. And the murders, not only of George Floyd, but others, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. There's at least 12 transgender people, many of color, who have died in the last year, and Tony McDade in Florida most recently. So I want everybody to know that PFLAG people, families, have been there standing up and standing beside the fight. Pride really grew from that anger that they felt and the injustice of inequality. So we are still here. We are all races, we are all ethnicities, we are everywhere across this country, and we are no longer staying in the shadows. We are out with our kids, and we thank you all too for all the work you're doing. I am living with my gay son who has moved home and working from home here, and even in an affirming household, this is a very difficult time. So my love goes to everybody. Know that PFLAG loves all of you, and we're going to stand beside you. And thank you for this Pride event. It's incredible. It's absolutely amazing.
I'm just honored to be here with you. So thank you so much, and happy Pride Month. So next up is, I am so thrilled to be introducing a personal friend and somebody who is just a leader in the community and a spiritual director for many of our LGBTQ family and friends, Reverend Keith Mazingo, who is the senior pastor at Founders Metropolitan Community Church in Los Angeles. Those who don't know, Founders MCC was founded in 1968 by the Reverend Troy Perry, and MCC was the first progressive Christian congregation in the world that welcomed LGBTQ people. Please also know that Reverend Troy co-founded LA Pride 50 years ago this month, so we're celebrating that. And Reverend Keith is following in his footsteps as the leader of Founder MCC. Hi, Reverend Keith.
Hello, Mel. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
We're so glad to see you. As you can see, we're in the sanctuary here at Founders Metropolitan Community Church. I have Reverend Alejandro Escoto behind me, and in a few minutes you're going to see Reverend Sheena Metal. She's on a separate visit, but she is over our interfaith ministries. Reverend Alejandro is over our Latin ministries, and you hear our music director, Jane Sifested, in the background, and her partner who is over our media team, and many of you know her from the LGBTQ Center, is Camille Arroyo. And so I had them singing in the background, so we had some music going on. I also bring you greetings from Reverend Troy Perry. No, he's not here in person, but he is at home, being safe. He's still honoring the pandemic stuff. Yes, ordinarily he would be here. Reverend Troy will be celebrating his 80th birthday this year, and he will. We're going to do a drive by the church thing in a couple of weeks to honor him and to honor his not only being the founder of our denomination. I mean, he started this in his living room 52 years ago, and it has become a worldwide denomination. Yes, we are Christian, but we are open to everyone of faith and even people with no faith. And that's why we have an interfaith service once a month as well. But just want to say happy Pride and how glad we are to be here. Glad to have been a part of other denominations coming out of our denomination, other people of faith. The Jewish temples here came out of the gay ones, came out of Metropolitan Community Church. And just knowing that Troy is the only living one of the organizers, the 3 organizers for the Pride parades, and that we still have him with us, and he's here usually every Sunday morning for worship, just not during the pandemic. So we want to invite everybody here online. We're not having in-house worship right now, but you can join us online at Founders Metropolitan Community Church. And I want to invite Reverend Alejandro. He will tell you about our Latin service. Our interfaith service is the second Saturday night at 5 p.m. And our Sunday morning worship in English is at 10 a.m. Join us online, either on the website or Facebook Live. We're doing 6-foot distancing. So I'm letting Alex talk now. I'm moving.
Hi, Reverend Alex. We've only got a couple. Great. It's so nice to see you. We've only got a couple of minutes. What do you have to say?
No worries. I want to do a greeting in Spanish. Yo los invito a la iglesia fundadora de la Comunidad Metropolitana de Los Ángeles. Nosotros nos fundamos en 1992. Acompáñanos en línea. And that was basically a Spanish version of what Keith said as an outreach to our Hispanic and Latinx community.
That's, well, muy bien. Wait, how do I say
Thank
Happy
you.
Pride in Español? ¿Cómo se dice Happy Pride en Español?
Feliz Orgullo.
Feliz Orgullo.
Orgullo.
Close enough. Happy Pride. Thanks, you guys.
Happy Pride.
Thank you. So, Alexandra Billings, where's my lovely, amazing Alexandra?
The next human that's coming our way is a friend of mine. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. He and I have known each other. We go back. I love all these pals that have said yes. Recently, he appeared in the great big huge film, The Birth of a Nation, for the love of Pete. He has his own stand-up comedy special, and he wrote an autobiography called Shut Up, I'm Talking. That makes me so happy. Is Jason here? Can we say hi to Jason? Is he around? Jason?
Hey, everybody. Oh, I'm just getting ready to Zoom. I need to put on my tape so I can look a little younger. I want to fit in with everybody. Here I go. Yeah.
Perfect.
How do I look? Do I look okay? No.
No, you look like Mary Tyler Moore, darling. Good.
Oh, so I got to say, with everything going on today, I was reading on the internet that only 1% of this country is gay, and if that's true, I've slept with everyone.
Oh, that's a lot of people. Can I just say, if that's true, I've slept with everyone and their family members. So that's
you know, you and I are of a certain age. I think we're around the same age. I won't say it out loud because I don't want to scare us. But when you were nice enough to say I was cast in this movie, and I was in this movie, Birth of a Nation, around 4 years ago. And I played a white heterosexual Christian plantation owner in 1831.
Love it.
And I had never said the N-word before, except maybe in my car listening to Snoop Dogg with the, with the windows all up. But and I was in my hotel room and I was practicing the N-word because I wanted to say it, really with verve, like the director told me to, because he said he would say cut if I didn't do it, like it was something I said all the time. So I hear a knock at the door of my hotel room, and there's the housekeeper, and she says, what's going on in there? I hear voices. And I said, it's nobody. It's just Donald Trump on TV. And I have to say, this movie changed my life and my perspective about race. Yeah. I've always thought of myself as the most liberal guy in the whole entire world. And I was doing press for the movie, and this very cute young blonde gal in her 20s says to me, how do you feel about this whole thing? How do you feel about, what's going on with Black Lives Matter and everything that's going on in the country right now? And I said, it's my feelings don't matter. What I do is I take off my shoes and I put on the shoes of my Black brothers and sisters, and I shut up and listen. And that is one of the most important things that I ever learned. And I listen to my friends, Dalila Ali Raja and Kareem Ferguson, two people who I think of are like my brother and my sister, and I think of them, and we talk about, white privilege, and they school me on it, being a gay Jewish man. And, it just, we don't realize that we have the privilege by just walking in the door. And until I talk, I get to walk in. They don't. They don't get to walk in. And with everything that's going on today and all these kids, and all these people, and most of the ages are people under 35, and they're out there fighting. And I'll leave you with this, Alexandra. Larry Kramer said, sometimes you have to chain yourself to the front of the White House until people notice. We need those people out there. Please don't hurt yourselves. Please don't hurt anybody else. We love you. Stay safe. And God bless everybody for being so supportive of me. I sometimes with the book being out, my autobiography, it just, my heart is so full with the things that people have said and how the kindness and the appreciation. Because sometimes, and I've talked to you about this. I've called you and said, hey, I'm having a day, and sometimes you just need that. So it's always nice when people reach out. Thank you all so much. And the only thing else I have to say, I guess, is upcoming tomorrow drops my new web series, Smothered, about these two gay guys that have been in a relationship for 1 million years, but hate each other, but can't afford to get divorced. And that's with
love it.
And that's with my business partner and artist, the wonderfully talented Mitch Hara. God, your face looks so wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, bless your heart, honey. Thank you. It's delighting.
I just look at you.
I love you.
I adore you. Mel,
thank you, Jason.
Thank you so much for having me on. God bless everybody.
Thank you so much, my love. Happy Pride.
We're so happy to have up next another really amazing leader for our community, the Reverend Gerald Walls of Christ Chapel of the Valley. Reverend Gerald founded Christ Chapel of the Valley in Los Angeles in 1992 and was raised by parents who were pastors. And he felt called is the word I'm looking for, to share God's love with the LGBTQ community. Please welcome Gerald Walls, Reverend.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm Reverend Gerald Walls, Christ Chapel of the Valley, and we have been ministering in the San Fernando Valley since 1992, and we actually came out of another congregation in Long Beach that was founded by Reverend Michael Cole, and he is the one who helped me understand and then bring my orientation and sexuality together, or sexuality and faith together, and it's just been such a blessing to follow in his footsteps. And also, I'm a part of LA Queer Interfaith Clergy Council, a co-chair there, and it is truly interfaith. And it's a place that if people are looking for a faith, contact me and at christchapel.com, and I will do my best to get you connected to a safe place that you can meet. And we're so grateful for a chance to celebrate Pride and knowing that we are accepted just as we are. We are creations that are perfected by God and are masterpieces in His sight. So I'm very thankful that we get to present this message to the LGBTQ community. And as far as this pandemic, I'll be so thankful when it's over, but I hope we're learning some good lessons of being able to connect to one another, to be there for one another and support one another that we carry with us after this day. So again, I want to thank you for the opportunity, for being able to share, and just so thankful for all your work and all that you're doing.
Thank you so much, Reverend Gerald. Thank you.
The Good Troublemakers, GTM, are artist agitators based in Los Angeles and working internationally. I love this. They're inspired by the words of John Lewis. GTM is committed to making art, making room, making change, and making good trouble. GTM is perpetually investigating what anti-racist and queer dance making and performing actually looks like. They produce, the annual Unicorn Party, which is fabulous, an annual event during B+ Pride Month of art, dance, music, and revelry, celebrating love for more than one gender. That also makes me happy. Founder Kai Hazelwood has appeared in BuzzFeed's I love these guys. The Try Guys Do Buy Pride video. I love the Try Guys. If you haven't seen them, go to BuzzFeed. They're hilarious. And is a regular speaker, Kai is, at high schools and colleges about Bi+ community issues. And Kai is also an organizer of AMBI LA, a social and support group for Bi+ people. So welcome, if you will, Kai and the good troublemakers.
My fellow Black queers, I'm really happy that Black Lives Matter has been so present in the parade today. But I just want to speak directly to us for a second and say, bring your whole self to Pride this year. I know I often feel like I have to choose between being Black and being queer. But if there's any history of any community and any event, it's the history of Pride understands having space for joy, for celebration, for rage, for grief, for rioting, for protest. We have space for all of that in this community. So please bring all of yourself here and let us celebrate and grieve together. And any naysayers that are saying, well, but rioting or protesting, I just want to remind all of us that the first Pride was a riot. And we have a strong history of protest in this community. So let's celebrate and support the most marginalized of us at this moment in time during Pride. So thank you so much for having us. Please check out our video on our social media channels, Good Troublemakers, Facebook, Instagram. Thank you so much for having me and letting me represent my collaborative today. And I'm so happy to see all these incredible, fabulous activists together in one place celebrating Pride.
Thanks so much, Kai. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Amazing. This is amazing. I actually asked personally to introduce our next guest, and the reason I did was because my wife and I were married we were married 22 years ago, almost 23 now. We met in 1976. We fell in love in 1976, and we've been together for over 4 decades, but we were married 2 decades ago. And then we had to get legally married, which never made any sense to me, because when we were married the first time, that was my marriage. But we did do it again, so we had a piece of paper, which is a whole other story. It's a whole I Love Lucy skit that we don't have time for. But I just wanted to personally just be with this human for a couple of minutes, because our next guest here in the live parade is Evan Wolfson from the Freedom to Marry. And he was one of the humans that made this possible, along with many, many other humans. But he was really a champion of this particular gift that my wife and I are able to live under and with. He's the founder and the president of Freedom to Marry, which gave the United States the right to legal marriage. So please welcome him, Evan Wolfson. Are you there?
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm glad.
Well,
thank you for having me. Yeah, here I am. I'm not in LA, but none of us is anywhere where we want to be right now. So it's wonderful to be there with you in spirit and on Zoom to celebrate how far we've come and to recommit to the work we have going forward. There's obviously so much we need to do.
I'm so happy to see your face. Really, this means a great deal to me, Evan. Really, I can't tell you. Well, your work not only changed the LGBTQ world, it changed the world. It shifted the world and the dialogue we were having about who queer people actually were. I just wonder now that while everything is happening, you know, you've been in the midst of many fights and many revolutions. And I wonder if you have any words to say to the LGBTQ community about not only just what's happening now, but about what you've seen and what kind of hope may lie ahead of us.
Well, actually, that's a great word to start with. I'll give you 3 words. If I were to sum up how we were able to go from 0 places in the world where same-sex couples could marry to now, as of last week, 29 countries. We just won our last country last week, Costa Rica, and we have to keep going. If I were to sum that up in 3 words, the words would be hope, clarity, and tenacity. You have to have tenacity. We see with the struggles against institutional racism, against sexism, against the isolation and stigma and discrimination against immigrants, Muslims, Jews, go right down the list of all the people affected. And by the way, I'll say how proud I am of our movement, that we stand in solidarity with these overlapping communities in the work ahead. You have to have tenacity. These struggles are not won in one day, in one century, in one battle, and you have to keep fighting. So tenacity is a huge element that our movement has understood is necessary, and it was a key ingredient in winning the freedom to marry. Alongside tenacity, you have to have clarity. You have to have strategy. You have to be clear about what your goal is, what your work is, how to bring in allies, who your targets are, who your audience is, what resources you need. You have to be clear and focused and tenacious and disciplined in bringing those to bear for the long struggle that all of this work takes. But it begins with the word you just started with, hope. You have to believe in the power of change. You have to believe that you have a voice, that you have something to contribute, that others who are not there yet can rise to fairness, can open their hearts and change their minds. And with hope, clarity, and tenacity, our movement has made extraordinary gains. We celebrate 50 years of Pride, and we know we have so much more to do. We see the work that's needed in our country. We have to get rid of this atrocious Trump-Pence regime. We have to register to vote and turn out to vote in the election in November to get our country back on track. But we know from our history that we can do this.
Thank you so much, Evan. What a pleasure. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for spending time with us. How delightful. It's so exciting. That was beautiful. And I have to tell you, our next guest, my heart is sort of beating a little faster than it normally does, because that's what happens when I get around legends. And as a 58-year-old mixed race trans woman who's been living with the HIV virus since the late 1980s, this particular human being that I'm about to introduce to you is not only one of the forerunners of our the movement and revolution in our community. She's one of the great actors of this or any generation. I'm so excited. So I'm just going to read, or else I will stammer. Sally Kirkland is a veteran of 250 films. She is the Best Actress Oscar nomination for Anna. If you haven't seen it, listen to what I'm saying to you. First of all, we can't be friends if you haven't seen Anna. And second of all, go watch Anna. And for the same film, she also won the Golden Globe Award, the Independent Spirit Award, as well as the LA Film Critics Circle Award. Sally is a historic groundbreaker for the LGBTQIA+ community and representation in Hollywood at a time when that was not only unheard of, it was most of the time lethal to someone's career. This is a courageous human we have coming on. She also infamously played gay characters on many television shows at a time when that wasn't done. Private Benjamin, Audit, and The Nanny, one of my personal favorites. I love The Nanny. As a minister in the Church of the Movement of Spiritual Inner Awareness, Sally has been a longtime supporter and advocate of queer rights, providing hospice care for people with HIV and AIDS in the height of the AIDS crisis, and marching in demonstrations and protests for LGBTQ rights. So please welcome one of our very special guests, another icon, Sally Kirkland.
Thank you for saying all of that.
What you've done beyond being an actor is quite extraordinary. Your activism work and being an advocate for our community. I wonder if you can talk a little bit about what you've noticed, perhaps the changes you've noticed in and out of Hollywood since you began your advocacy work and now. What have you noticed has been the difference?
I've just noticed more and more people having the guts to come out and to take care of each other. And of course, there's more to be done. Last night, I got to look over my balcony and see all the smoke rising from the buildings. 2 blocks away. But I see everybody coming together, and I want to say, Father, Mother, God, we ask just now for your light and the light of the Holy Spirit and the light of Jesus Christ and the mystical traveler consciousness and preceptor to surround us, surround the community, fill us, protect us for our highest good. And Lord, we pray for justice, and we pray for fairness, and we pray to have an administration that understands humanity and that takes care of its citizens. And Lord, we so protect the queer community. We so are grateful to have enjoyed all of the talent of all of these amazing people. And Lord, take care of Alexandra. Take care of all the wonderful work she's doing, and all of these beautiful people who've been here today, who I've heard since 12 o'clock. And all I can say is that the changes must keep coming. Clearly, we're watching that right now with Black Lives Matters. And I'm so grateful that my godmother was a lesbian, and I got to learn at the age of 10, 11, 12 what that was. I'm so grateful that I knew Holly Woodlawn and Carol Candy Darling and Jackie Curtis and all of us at the Andy Warhol Factory. I'm so grateful to be loved by this group of people. Mel England is one of my best friends in the whole world. I am so grateful. I don't know what I would do without the support of the gay community from the age of 10 or 11 years old. So be it.
Sally Kirkland, thank you so much, spiritual leader. Thank you, Goddess. Thank you very much for taking your time out of today. We appreciate it. Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you, Sally. We love you.
Love you back.
Everybody who's watching, I really hope you know how truly lucky you are to have, first of all, the technology to get all of these people together, but to have the kind of activists speak to you in real time while the world around us is not only lit on fire, but changing minute by minute, is a gift that will never happen again. So I want everybody watching to take note of how blessed you are.
I am taking notes right now.
Geez, I'm going to go and let you do things. You do something. I'm going to go.
Okay, well, you go do something and I'll take it from here. So next up, we have another amazing human being who is doing God's work, the human race's work, Gail Roth, who is the former executive director of the Friends of Project 10, an organization that assures public schools comply with laws regarding sexual orientation and gender identity. After 33 years of serving the community, sadly, they're closing, but we are so grateful for their leadership, and it's my pleasure to introduce Gail Roth.
Well, thank you very, very much. That's a very nice introduction, and happy Pride to everybody. I'm going to start out with some words from Dr. Virginia Uribe, who was not only the founder of Project 10, but also my life partner and spouse. And those words were, "I will not stop fighting this fight until I have the last breath in me." And in fact, she simply stopped breathing, and 3 weeks later we had our fundraiser to raise money for our Models of Excellence Scholarship Program. We had agreed that the programs would go on regardless of the outcome of things, and unfortunately she passed away before she was able to see the new crop of scholarship recipients that we sent on their way. In 1984, for those of you that don't know, she was a counselor and a teacher at Fairfax High School, and I hope the school is still standing after last night. And at that school, at that time, there was a young Black gay student who was brutally harassed, and as a way of dealing with that, the school transferred him to another school. And that so inflamed her and touched on her anger and sense of injustice that she created the Project 10 program, which was the first actual LGBTQ student dropout program in public schools in the nation. All she wanted to do was have kids attend schools that were safe and respectful, and that was not so easy. After the program was launched, attacks came, including those from the Reverend Lou Sheldon, who, by the way, just recently passed away. He was the founder of the Traditional Values Coalition. And, but her stance was always, you know, I don't understand why people would not want kids to go to school and be safe and be in a respectful environment. And she just responded to all of the attacks pretty much that way. After the attacks came, or prior to the attacks, she actually created the nonprofit arm Friends of Project 10, which went on to create a scholarship program, the nation's first LGBTQ youth prom, and the Models of Pride conference, which the LA LGBT Center and LifeWorks programs now operate, and they're actually going into their 28th conference this November for this year. So we're quite proud of that. She was fearless and she was tireless, and as a result of her work, she saved thousands of lives and touched students, parents, educators, and community groups around the country and abroad. And I would just want to keep it short. I would like to conclude with two quotes by the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. And they are, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter, and the moral arc of the universe bends at the elbow of justice." I want our young people to stay in school. I know it's a challenge, but please stay in school, attend your classes, maintain your voice. You have a voice, and rise up and exercise your pride. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all your work. And it's Happy Pride. So, Alexandra.
Yes, darling.
Oh, there you are. Hello.
Here I are.
Yes. So, who do we have next?
Well, this is very exciting.
Yes.
We have Sediya.
Oh my God.
Sediya.
My mouth is watering. It's my favorite.
Well, it should be. Well, because she's delicious. Sediya is a high fashion 18-year-old international model, and from Tijuana, and a top selling Tupperware diva. When Kay is not saving the world while selling Tupperware, she moonlights as one of the detectives of the Los Angeles stage show Chico's Angels, which, by the way, is hilarious. Currently, Sediya can be seen in Netflix's original show RuPaul's AJ and the Queen. That just premiered not too long ago. And she has also made guest appearances on The Real Housewives of Orange County. That's delicious. The Real Housewives of Atlanta. KTLA Morning News, Good Day LA, and The Dish. So I believe she's here. Can we speak? Where is she, Kay? Kay, are you with us, darling?
Hi!
Hello, my love. How are you, gorgeous?
Can you see me?
I can totally see you.
Chica, can you see me? Hi! What's up, you guys? I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so glad you made it here, darling, and I'm so glad you wore your day makeup. Oh, look at your Tupperware. I love what's going on. I love your hair.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I love. What's the thing in your hair? That's fantastic.
Oh, you mean these are paper mache flowers? These are the national flower of Tijuana.
Yes. Well, they're fantastic.
I have to represent.
I'm wondering, my darling, we're talking to so many icons like yourself, and I'm wondering if you have any words for the LGBTQ humans who might be watching this parade from all over the world, if you have any words of wisdom and perhaps hope for those people. Would you like to say anything to those humans?
Of course. I always like to give words of constipation. I mean, of inspiration, because, you know, I, for one, even though you're looking at an abundance of sexy, I didn't always believe it. I'm that kind of humble sexy where people had to tell me I was sexy, like I didn't even know, but now I embrace all of it. And I want people to always know, like my husband always says, own your shit, and embrace it.
That's beautiful, my darling.
That's and where humble I am. That's the kind of humble I am.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense, girl. Where can people come and see you? Can we come and see you somewhere soon?
In fact, thank you for asking, Alexandra. Because of the pandemic, everybody pretty much has had to work from home, including yours truly. I am one of the top-selling Tupperware divas in all of the United States and Canada. That's a different country. But what happened is I've been doing virtual Tupperware parties. I know, right?
That's fantastic. So do you have like a website or an Instagram or something?
Listen, you want to follow me on my Quesadilla page. In fact, I'll be going live today at 2:30 to do a Tupperware fiesta. I know. You can buy your plastics while you're in a pandemic.
Darling, I have so much food to put in Tupperware.
Look, this will be perfect for it. All of them.
Okay.
All of them.
Okay. I'll be, as soon as the parade is over, I'm coming to visit you.
So I want to just introduce you really quick to my husband and our puppy.
Darling!
Hi!
What's the puppy's name?
That's Buffy. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
And what's the husband's name?
My husband's name is Darren, and we have a 3-year-old son, but we couldn't get him to come inside,
That happens.
He was playing.
Yeah, I understand. Darling, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and coming to see us and visit us. We appreciate it.
Happy Pride, everyone. Remember, own your shit. Own it.
That's right. Own it. Thanks, girl.
Bye.
Oh my God. Yay, quesadilla. Next, actually, we have somebody that's one of my really most inspired friends in Los Angeles. Sheena Metal, who is now the Reverend Sheena Metal. She is a performance artist, talk show radio host, humanitarian, and spiritual practitioner. She founded Raising the Vibration, a non-profit movement of peace, love, kindness, and unity. And she is just sort of an amazing human being. I'd like to welcome Reverend Sheena Metal.
And if I'd known I was going to follow Quesadilla, I would have put in a Tupperware order, Mel.
So what's going on, Sheena? Tell us about it.
Well, I feel like it's almost like a deja vu for me. I founded RaisingTheVibration.org, which is a movement of peace, love, kindness, and unity, to honor my mom's teachings on her birthday, the year she died, which was the day the presidential election results were announced. So the world was crazy then, like the world is crazy now. And I sort of got the call to go into service and to add into my entertainment career, a spiritual career, and to found this movement of peace, love, kindness, and unity, because my mom always felt like those were the 4 things human beings were really missing in their next stage of evolution. And my mom, I always say, if I was going to be a queer person, and I'm in the bisexual, pansexual, and intersex communities, that spirit gave me the right mother. Because from the time I was little, I was raised that everybody was the same, that we should all be proud of who we are, that everybody had a right to be who they were and live as they wanted to live. So I was lucky in my life that when I came out as bisexual, and later when I discovered I was intersex, everything my mom said was fantastic. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? Aren't you special? And when I was growing up in Orange County in the 80s, when you got arrested for being gay, my mom had all my friends that got kicked out of their houses came and lived at our house. So that's sort of the ideology that I've put behind Raising the Vibration. So now to be the interfaith minister at Founders MCC and to be on staff there and to be here on the board of the Lavender Effect. And this year I'm joining the board of the Harvey Milk Foundation that I've worked with for years. I think that queer people, Mel, we were sort of made to be in service because of the history of what we go through as people. And now more than ever is the time when we need to take that service, that want to make something for the world, and bring together all of our communities in the queer community, all of that unity, right? And then use that to inspire the rest of the world to bring their communities together so that we can all
become one human family, which was really my mother's mission. It's my mission with raisingthevibration.org. And I think it's so important. And I think we as queer people, we can start that ball rolling. And that's something that I think is something that we have to take pride in, where we've come from as a community in 50 years, and that we can now inspire the world to come together as we have, so that everybody, irregardless of their ethnicity, their religion, their gender, their sexuality, can have a happy life and live as an equal person. And you know, I, at 52 years old, fell in love for the very first time. And I'm here actually in my girlfriend's bedroom right now, where every good girl should be on a Sunday afternoon. And so she and I have kind of come together and are working on this thing called the Soulmate Experience Project, trying to help others find love, irregardless of their gender or sexuality or ethnicity or religion, because every human being deserves equality and happiness. And that's sort of what I've devoted the rest of my life to.
That is just amazing. And I want to thank you, Sheena, because you're one of the main people of many, but you just welcomed me with open arms when I first came out to Los Angeles, and it's that kind of love and embrace that we have for each other. And so, happy Pride, my love.
I'm honored to be here. Happy Pride, everybody. I love you, my friend. Yeah. And again, so honored to be a part of the Lavender Effect, and so honored to be with you here all today. And thank you to Andy for having me, and to you and to Alexandra.
Yes, see you soon. Okay. Okay, so Alexandra,
Hello, darling.
What crazy float is up next?
You know what? This is going to be really exciting. We've been talking a lot about having icons on our parade, and this certainly is one of them. She's one of my favorite actresses. She is an intergalactic icon, which is larger than a galactic icon. She is an icon in high fashion, in downtown debauchery, also pronounced debauchery if you're French, and also in independent film. She is probably the Meryl Streep of independent film. I think all of us need to just bow our heads for the incandescent Chloe Civic. Is she here? Is Chloe with us?
Good evening, Alex. Can you hear me?
It's so good to see you, darling.
It's wonderful to see you as well. Good evening, Mel. Good evening, America.
I'm so glad you took time. I know your schedule is insane.
Packed to the gills.
It's really crazy because the pandemic really hasn't affected you or your career.
Not in the least. I travel across planets and planes, dimensions, projects are flowing. Right now I'm living in something called an apartment.
Yeah. How's that going?
It's hilarious. There are only a few rooms. I keep thinking, oh, there'll be more rooms. And they're not.
Yeah, they're not. That's the interesting thing about apartments. I'm wondering if, do you leave the apartment at all?
Oh, no. I exist here. I have things brought to me on miniature platelets. It takes an entire team, an entire world to do such things, Alex. But it's fantastic. I love it. If I do go outside, I wear a mask made of hummus and delight.
Yes. Good. That's good thinking. Are you filming any projects lately that are coming up at all?
I'm playing a series of inanimate objects in a series of very important films that will be immediately destroyed upon completion.
Yeah.
It will take me about 7 or 8 years. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, well, as well you should be. We can't wait because every time you come out with something, it's not like that Sally Field or that Meryl Streep where it's just crap. But the stuff you come out with,
crap from those two. Always.
Awful. Isn't it awful? It's just boring, is what it is. If I were to ask you, who in Hollywood is your favorite human to watch? Which actor or actress do you love to watch? Which brings you the most joy?
Oh, Crystal Waters. I love her work. I will watch her in any film. Just incandescent she is.
Yeah, Yeah, she's good. And what do you think is the future of Hollywood now with this, things are going online and things are not online? What do you think the future holds for us?
Well, I hope that we can all dance together soon, but we have to have Hollywood in our own minds. We create Hollywood inside. Mm-hmm. I tell everyone, you are Hollywood. Welcome to Hollywood. Welcome to you.
Yes, welcome to Hollywood. Welcome to you. I would like a T-shirt with that welcome to Hollywood. Welcome to you. Since today, of course, is the 50th anniversary, I would love you to leave the LGBTQ kids with some kind of message from you, Chloe. You're such an icon. And, they've all been waiting for this particular moment to see you. So I'm wondering if you have anything you'd like to say to the community at large.
Well, it's recently come to my attention that 'tis the season for Pride. I was made aware of this at the 33rd Sesquicentennial Squirt Stomp, sponsored by Boy Butter, Pepsid AC, and the Sullivan and Watkins Law Group, in which I learned it's important to hold on to yourself. Do something fun. It's Pride. Take a centaur ride with Holland Taylor. Just eat a finger sandwich. You have permission to wear your Juice Newton snood. There's plenty of things to do at Pride. But I want to tell everyone in the community that they're important. We're all important creatures. We're all important monsters, and we're all necessary. And it's very important to hold on to that. And we will all dance together soon, but alone as we must.
That is probably the single greatest speech I think I have ever heard in the history of speeches.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Submitting it to the Smithsonian immediately following this presentation.
That's a really good idea. Thank you, my love. Thank you for joining us. I love you, and
I love you, Alex. Too. I love you, Mel. I love you. Thank you, Lavender Effect. Thank you for having me. Happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride. I need some oxygen.
Wow, I can't believe Chloe.
What the hell? That was the greatest moment of my life. I just want to go on record as saying. Wow. I think I'm next. I'm not next. I'm introducing the next human. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think I am. I actually asked to do this because I really would like to meet this particular human being. Lucy Hayward is a leadership camper for the Brave Trails Camp, which is dedicated to being a home away from home for LGBTQ youth in LA. And queer youth is a passion of mine and has been for a very long time. This summer camp's main focus is helping campers grow in the brave leaders that they are all meant to become. So please welcome everybody. Lucy Hayward. Is Lucy with us? Oh, look, there's Lucy.
Hi, my name is Lucy. I'm 17 years old, and I'm a UJL at Camp Brave Trails. UJL stands for Unicorn Justice League. So I'm a UJL member, and basically what that is the staff/counselor in training program at camp. So what we're in charge of doing is organizing workshops and planning arts and crafts and encouraging participation in all of activities that we do. And then we are also taught to be good role models and good examples of what a leader at camp should look like and what a leader in real life should look like. And I've been going to Camp Brave Trails for 3 years, and this year at camp is going to be a little different because of the virus, so it's going to be all online. But we are still having the UJL program, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. And camp has really changed my life. I have made so many lifelong friends at camp, and Brave Trails has given me the confidence to be openly myself, because before going to camp for the first time in 2018, I was very shy when it came to accepting my sexuality. I'm bisexual. You didn't know. But after going to camp for the first time, I started become so much more open to accepting myself and to showing it to the world. I am publicly out as bisexual now, and I'm really proud of myself. And camp has really taught me to accept myself and love myself for who I am. And I love myself for who I am. And another thing that camp has really taught me is to resonate with people's stories and learn from people's experiences, because that is how we build friendships, that is how we build connections, and that is how we learn really important lessons in this world. And they have also helped me to try new things, like they use the challenge by choice mentality. And I actually apply that to my real life, even away from things that have to do with the LGBTQ community. Like for me, you know, anything I do, like if there's anything that I'm afraid of, I always try and conquer it because I'm facing that challenge. It is my choice. And it has really helped me, and it has made me such a more positive, happier person. And I just want to say thank you to the Lavender Effect for letting me come and speak to all of you. I was a little nervous. I think I'm like the youngest one here. And thank you to Brave Trails for nominating me to do this. I'm really, really, really lucky that I have a platform like this and that I got the opportunity to speak to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lucy. Happy Pride. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. What a joy. That made me really happy. That made me super happy. Our next human is one of my favorite people. She and I did a little skit together on the television machine. It was called The Transparent. Kathryn Hahn is also Emmy nominated for that particular show when she played Rabbi Rachel. And she got nominated and I didn't. I don't understand, but I'm fine. Currently, she can be seen in the HBO limited series I Know This Much Is True, the Apple TV Plus animated series, Central Park, and the upcoming Disney Plus series, WandaVision. She is working like mad. Ladies and geraniums, Kathryn Hahn. Are you there, darling?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, I am. Please. I'm here. Sorry. Sorry.
God.
It was my daughter. You know, it's in these trying times you have to find someone to do your hair and makeup, and for me it was my child.
Yeah.
She spoiled me today. I don't know if you can tell, but I have to say she did a pretty fabulous job.
She did well. It looks really good from here. It looks really, I have to say, it's sort of a mixture of a geisha Mildred Pierce kind of thing is what you've got going on.
Oh!
Yeah.
I think it's pretty fantastic.
It's really...
Oh, please
yeah. No, don't ever excuse that. That needs to happen constantly. We can't get enough of that. Don't you hide behind that umbrella.
Oh, Mimo, it was Rabbi Raquel.
Yeah, what did I say? I don't care. All I know is you got the nomination and I didn't. That's all I care, Rachel.
I've been crying this whole time, by the way. This is so beautiful. Thank you
ridiculous.
for having me, and thank you, Lavender Effect. I thought I was supposed to dress up, so this is what I did. I'm very
It's so good. It's so good on about 55 different levels. You really have no idea. And quite frankly, if you don't go to every award show dressed like that, I'm picketing. Oh my God, Kathryn Hahn.
Oh my God.
She's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Mel?
So next up, we have another incredible activist leader in our community, Executive Director for the Latino Equality Alliance, whose mission is to advocate for equity, safety, and wellness for the Latinx LGBTQ+ community. They are located in Mi Centro LGBT Community Center in Boyle Heights. Please welcome Eddie Martinez.
Hey, hola everyone.
Hola.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
You just took away my message. So I just want to introduce, this is Lupita and Maria, and over here is my uncle, Tio Pepe. Today he is Concha. So just a little history. Latino Equality Alliance was founded about 11 years ago as a response to the passing of Proposition 8. At that time, a lot of Latino activists and organizations got together and we realized that we needed to go out there and educate our gente about marriage equality and LGBTQ issues. And over the years, we evolved. And now today, we really focus on organizing youth and families to really advocate for safe schools, for safe neighborhoods and homes. This is our home here. This is where our youth meet, our parents meet. Unfortunately, we can't do it today, so we're doing everything virtual. I just want to say that pride is about the color of my skin. It's about what we do for the community. It's about being proud of who we are, who we thought we came into this planet. And I just want to say that as we move forward, we really are going to be committed to working with all communities to make sure that everyone is treated equally and has justice, and that we all could breathe the same air and not be stopped. And I just want to say thank you to the pioneers. Because of you all, I'm able to dance, I'm able to hold hands with someone of the same sex today. And also, if you don't know, someone talked about the MCC Church earlier. It was founded in Huntington Park. That's where my family migrated to in 1968, and I was born just a few weeks after that church was founded. And 51 years later, well, just recently, I got elected to be a city council member for that city. And I owe it to all the pioneers for allowing me to run as an openly gay candidate in the city. So thank you all. Happy Pride. I love you all.
Thank you. Happy Pride, Eddie. Thank you so much. Alexandra, who do we have on board? Who's
my
next?
God, I'm so excited. No, this is very exciting. You're going to love this. This young man and I have been friends for quite some time. He is a multi-Emmy Award-winning actor for his portrayal of the delightful Josh Lemon in West Wing. I'll pronounce it how I want to. Okay? I wish people would stop correcting me. He was in The West Wing, which also had Kristen Chenoweth. She was also in that. Mr. Whitford also won an Emmy for The Transparent as guest artist, which is so interesting, because I myself was also on that show. He's been in dozens of movies, I think 3. He's been in a lot of TV shows, some of which have been seen, and an occasional circus. Now, he and his illustrious wife, Amy Landecker, were married just last year in front of 17,000 of their closest friends, of which they also had a palm reader and an elephant. I don't know what that had to do with them getting married, but they have a lot of money. They've also, you can see them both on The Handmaid's Tale on Fox. No, FX. No, Hulu. It doesn't matter. Nobody's watching TV anyway. They're they're lovely people. They're friends of our community, and I think half of them is here. Bradley, are you with us?
I am here, Alexandra. Oh. How are you?
My God, it's good to see your face.
You look beautiful. I do want to say that Kathryn Hahn totally stole my bit.
What is wrong with her?
I just want to very quickly thank this community, not only for defending and making the world a safer place for queer members of my own family, but also this community has always inspired me in terms of political organization. I remember sitting in the hallway at Juilliard reading about gay pneumonia, and then seeing the community stand up in such an effective way against an administration that was not standing up for its own citizens. And, Evan Wolfson, who was here earlier, inspires me. I think often in the progressive movement, culture is powerful, but politics is the way we create our moral vision. And, will and grace is great, but it won't help you if you have a pre-existing condition. And,
that's right.
And the legal, we need to make sure that our young people understand what you guys have always taught me, which is injustice is unacceptable and the future is an act of our own creation. So I just want to thank your community for being beacons of hope. I also want to say that Amy, who is, she's totally fine, but has a little, she'll be glad I'm telling you, a little intestinal distress.
She'll be happy with that. Yeah.
But I also want to thank your community because just as a straight guy, I asked the love of my life out for the first time standing on a float at the Gay Pride Parade. So I want the straight people out there to know that there are hot, available women at the Gay Pride events.
Which really is the focus of the parade anyway.
It really is. It was for me. I'm sorry.
It's the foundation from which we all stand. Bradley.
But I really do thank this community, and we need to be politically engaged, and we need to not only vote, but make sure that everybody has a plan to vote, because we cannot survive any more of this.
That's exactly right. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for waiting for so long, and thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it.
I love you all.
I love you so much, my friend. Thank you. Bradley Whitford.
Okay, so next we have another trailblazer. Richard Zaldivar is the founder and executive director of the Wall Las Memorias Project, a nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting wellness and preventing illness among Latino populations affected by HIV/AIDS. Please welcome Richard Zaldivar.
Oh, thank you so much, Mel, and thank you to Lavender Effects and Andy for all that you do and for inviting me to be along for this celebration. I want to introduce my fiancé that's joining me here today, Joselito Laudencia. The Wall Las Memorias Project was founded back in 1993. As a founder, I saw the great need to provide additional services to a community that wasn't being served, and that was a Latino community around HIV/AIDS. And the idea was to build an AIDS memorial to people who passed as a way to engage our community around the whole issue of HIV/AIDS. Today, we're in the process, we built that monument, we're in the process of renovating it, and it's available for anyone throughout the country, throughout the world. So I'm asking people if they're interested in placing the name of a loved one on the AIDS monument to visit our website this coming Friday, as we're in the process of relaunching our website too. We provide services to the entire community, Latinx, LGBTQ, and in the area of health prevention. In regards to Pride, as we celebrate 50 years of Pride, it's important to reflect where we came from, how we did it. What's more important, that today we face great challenges, and there's a greater need to be much more inclusive and much more sensitive to all of our communities. Yes, we're talking about learning more about the African American community, learning more about the immigrant, the plight of the transgender community, Middle Eastern, Native American, Asian Pacific Islander, because we have a huge challenge in front of us, and that is not only taking back our rights as queer people, but saving our democracy. So as we move forward to the future Pride events, as we celebrate this 50 years of Pride, let us relearn what we did in the past, who was there for us, who's around us today that may not be engaged or empowered to be that leader, but to know that we have great challenges. And I am completely certain that we will meet those challenges in the future if we all work together.
Thank you for all the work that you guys do. Happy Pride. Happy
Pride to you. Right.
Yes.
God bless.
God bless you.
This next human, one of our icons, divas, legends, Tony, Grammy, singer, actor, one of our, I'm just giving you a bunch of titles. Ladies and Geraniums, Audra McDonald. Where are you, girl? Hello, my love.
Hi, how are you? Hi, everybody.
Good,
Happy Pride.
Are you in your house?
I am. This is this is what we call our chill room. This is where we send the kids up to relax and chill out, or I hide from them sometimes in this lockdown. Yeah, that's right. That's where I am right now. How is everybody doing? This has been wonderful to sit and watch. I've considered myself an ally for the LGBTQIA community for as long as I can remember. I have family members that are LGBTQIA. I have close friends and colleagues, and that your community has always taken care of me, and I really don't remember my life without LGBTQIA people in it. And so it has been such an honor to be considered an ally, and to have been, in a way, sort of raised by so many LGBTQIA people. I have two very, very close friends of mine that have been married and together. They've been together for 46 years and married for, I don't even remember how many now, that I've called my fairy godfathers for forever. Andy Gale and Bobby Wolfson. And they literally are like my second set of parents. And I just don't know where I would be without this community. So I thank you so much. And I'm always here for you guys. And I'm always here to sort of march and scream and get out there and agitate and do whatever we have to do to make sure that your rights are realized and that you guys are all seen. And I know, and I hope and I pray that in this time of great grief and great pain for the African American community, that you guys are doing the same and will continue to do the same and be allies to us, because we need you desperately right now. Those of you who can speak out in whatever way you can, raise your voices, educate yourselves, do not stay silent. We need you. We need you desperately.
You know, I'll tell you, as a person of color, as a trans person of color, this time has been conflicting for me, chaotic. Strangely, and I don't know why, you may understand this, full of hope. And I'll tell you, because our queer community has been born out of revolution, and the foundation from which we stand comes from a place of being able to see the future ahead of the smoke, ahead of the fire. Right. I really believe that we cross those lines, that there is not a delineation between the LGBTQIA fight and the African American fight. All of us want equality. All of us want inclusion and helping. That's right. And helping each other, I think, really should be the slogan for all of us. I want to ask you, you're such an advocate for us all, and I think a powerful voice, that if you had something to say, especially to the youth, to the kids, and I mean the kids 10 years old, 14 years old, 18 years old, that are just coming into their wokeness, both as people of color and LGBTQIA people, if you had something to tell those humans, what could you tell them?
I would say reach out, stay engaged, do not despair. That's the one thing we have, because I have children. I mean, I've got 4, and I don't know if, one of them's only 3. She may be LGBTQIA someday. I don't know. If she is, that's wonderful. But do not despair, and do not disengage. It is so important that, especially because a lot of the kids that are going to be needed to vote and continue to vote out this old guard of conservatism that is literally killing democracy. We need them to stay engaged and to reach out and to educate themselves and to let their elders educate them, and by that I mean their elder queers, their elder African American, their elder POC, people who have been through the fight. Listen and learn, and then lead, is what I would say to these young people, and that's what I'm trying to teach my kids right now. And I also, my kids are my 2 daughters are not only well, they're female. I don't know if they're queer. If they are, that's great. But they are also biracial. And so they're going to have to learn how to sort of navigate being many different things at once, and being seen by society as one thing. And and claiming who they are as another. And so within all of that, teaching them to stay engaged and to stay hopeful and to take care of all of their fellow man is my biggest challenge and my joy, actually, as a parent.
Thank you so much, Audra. Thank you for taking the time.
Black Lives Matter.
That's right. All right, Mel, I'm off. You're up.
Okay, yeah, well, that was amazing. Now I can just check that off my bucket list. Audra McDonald, oh my God. Okay, so our next speaker, participant, flow ride person, this is kind of amazing. A real trailblazer on so many levels. Founding rabbi of Congregation Kol Ami, West Hollywood's Reformed Jewish Synagogue, Rabbi Denise Egger is the past president of the Central Conference of American Rabbis. She is on the forefront of the movement of helping everyone feel like they belong in houses of worship, including LGBTQ people. Please welcome Rabbi Denise Egger.
Hi, everyone. There we go. Hi, Mel. How are you? How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Yeah. I'm glad your camera came back. We heard you.
I know, I got it. All right. Well, I'm glad to see everyone and see you too.
Okay.
Happy Pride. As I said, we're in West Hollywood and proud to be West Hollywood's Reformed Synagogue. And no, we're a synagogue. We are a community, Mel, that's filled with people of all faiths and all colors and queer and not. And we are known for being a community to fight for social justice, for equality for our queer community, for immigrants, for the homeless, and for people of color. And on this, as we celebrate Pride, you know, against the backdrop of what's happening in our country and what's happened particularly in our City of Angels, we have to remember that we all must stand in solidarity to fight racial injustice. And that is what our congregation is committed to. And as we celebrate this 50 years of Pride in Los Angeles, we remember that our community Pride was started to protest police brutality. And that hasn't changed in so many ways for so many different communities. And so at Congregation Kol Ami, we stand together with all who demand and seek justice. We invite you to participate. For those of you that are seeking spiritual community that is queer-centric, positive, and loving, and embracing. And I want to share with you, Mel, just a piece from my new book, Where Pride Dwells. It's a book of prayer and meditation for LGBTQ plus people. And this is a particular prayer written by a young man named Dave Yadid, and it's a special for Pride. I think it really speaks to what we're doing here, what Lavender Effect has been doing with its emphasis on history and recapturing our queer history. And it's called A Blessing for My LGBTQ Ancestors. You who fought for love, you who prayed to the same God I do, you who insisted on your dignity even when the world said you had none, you who died of AIDS while fighting for a cure so people like me might live, you who were shot on a massacre on the dance floor, you who could not come out and held your secret until your dying day, you who were insulted, shamed, beaten, and brutalized, yet kept walking, you who contributed your fierceness, your originality, your art, and your voice to this world, I walk in your memory. I walk this path smooth and charted by your sacrifice towards justice, towards holiness, and towards freedom. And let us all say, Amen. Mishkan Ga'ava, Where Pride Dwells, available on Amazon. It's the official queer prayer book of the Reform movement of Judaism. And so I really want to encourage everybody to have a happy Pride, be safe, be healthy, be well, be strong, and together we will change this country and take it back and make it a kind of place where everyone can live in peace and justice and freedom. So glad to be here with all of you and with the Lavender Effect. And we hope to welcome you soon to Congregation Kol Ami in West Hollywood. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. And amen to that, Rabbi Denise. Thank you so much.
Amazing. I love all the blessings we're getting. That means everything. So our next group of humans, I'm very excited about this. First of all, because they're called the Fruitcake Follies. And I don't care what they do, as long as they keep that title. For 22 years, the Fruitcake Follies has been an annual Christmas institution to hundreds of, you look fantastic, girl, to hundreds in the LGBTQIA plus community in Southern California. With us are the fruitcakes themselves. That makes me really happy. I'm going to read these names. I've been butchering everyone's name, so pardon me. Everybody just give the old lady, some room. Sandra Bernhard, Dina Droder. God, I hope this is right. Is that right? Cher Ferreira. I love that anyone's called Cher is okay in my book. Jane Guy, Terry Ray, and Eric Sepala. I hope that's right. All right, kids, hit it.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. That is right. We are the cast of the Fruitcake Follies, one of Hollywood's longest running holiday shows. We perform live in the basement of a Mexican restaurant called Casita del Campo, the legendary Cavern Club. And just like a real fruitcake, we're made up of fruits, nuts, booze, and a whole lot of holiday cheer that we think the world needs all the time. We're super excited and honored to be taking a break from rehearsing for our 22nd Folly show, and I have appointed myself spokesperson because, well, I am the gayest thing in the show.
Oh, Eric, that's so not true. I'm way more gay than you are. It's verified fact. I have my movie Gaydar, my toy the Gaydar gun, my TV show My Sister is so gay.
Hey, what about me?
Cher, you're not gay.
Look, in LGBTQIA, there's got to be at least one letter that describes all of this.
Excuse me, you're all gay as hell. But let's face it, you guys, the reason why people come to the basement is to hear my musical styling. I'm a dreaming of a white Christmas. Why I gotta be white?
Oh, that's true. That was really lovely, Sandra. But you know what's even lovelier? Me! I love to glitter and be gay. Oh, thank you. Isn't this fun? Oh, speaking of lovely, look who's here, guys, all the way from Australia. Oh. It's our choreographer and hostess, Miss Jane. And she came to show us our new routine for next year, actually this year.
Oh, hell no, I'm not doing that. I got to get
that's not about to happen.
If I can do it, you can do it. I'm stop complaining. Why is everybody...
Fruitcake, stop arguing. This is embarrassing. We're not here to argue. We're here to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Pride and the Lavender Effect, and to remind everybody to keep not only the Yuletide, but every day gay. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Fruitcake.
Another incredible pioneer for LGBTQ spiritual purpose, Reverend Dr. Neil Thomas of the Cathedral of Hope in Dallas, Texas. He's the senior pastor at the Cathedral of Hope, United Church of Christ in Dallas. He was born into a Mormon family, and he later served as senior pastor at MCC churches in Bournemouth, England, and also here in Los Angeles after Reverend Troy Perry. Please welcome Dr. Neil Thomas.
Here I am in Dallas, Texas, and as you can tell from my accent, I'm not from America at all. I came to the United States from Bournemouth in England and spent my first 13 years at Founders Metropolitan Community Church. It was great to see my colleagues Keith Mozingo and Alejandro Escoto a little earlier in your show. Cathedral of Hope is known as the largest predominantly LGBTQ congregation, certainly in the United States, probably in America. We average about 1,200 queer folks on Sunday mornings. And of course, over the last 11 weeks, we've been doing everything virtually online. And so it's been a whole new experience of not just being a church in Dallas, but actually being a global church, a progressive voice. And I think as I think about Pride, I think about the ways in which queer folks have brought such a progressive message and have lived out their lives so fully and so authentically, and just how passionately that translates into our faith. In fact, today is Pentecost in the Christian church, and Pentecost reminds us of that wind of change, that wind of the Holy Spirit that came upon those early disciples. And I've been thinking about what that wind of change might be like for us, and certainly in our country right now, we need one big wind of change. And if there is any group of people that know about how to bring a wind of change, it's queer folk. And if you can add some spiritual power to that, I think that we can do a great job. Pride is 51 years old. This congregation is 50 years old. We were founded in 1972. We were a part of Metropolitan Community Churches for a number of those years, and then became a United Church of Christ. And we have always marched in every Pride parade. The picture you can see behind me is a picture of our bell wall that was created as a now 24-hour, 365-day memorial to the AIDS pandemic. And every time the bells ring, there are 3 bells. It's faith, hope, and love. Those 3 bells ring out across the city of Dallas as a reminder the pandemic's still with us. And in the midst of this new pandemic, we are also now displaying a candle on our bell wall as a reminder to more than 101,000 Americans now that have died from COVID-19, as well as, of course, standing with those voices that are oppressed, African-American voices, black and brown bodies that are so important in our world. And if pride really means anything today, it's not about just the beautiful bodies that we see on the floats, whether they be male or female or anything in between, intersex, transgender, all of the wonderful variations of our community. But it really now stands that as other people stood for us, those leaders, those pioneers, we must now stand. And as a white man, I believe that is part of my job as a social justice, part of my faith, to do the heavy lifting, especially for transgender folk, especially for black and brown folk, who just, for some reason, white supremacy and white privilege seems to think that they are indispensable, that they're just dispensable. And it's just not, it's not something that I believe in, and I know it's not something that queer communities believe in. So I'm grateful to those shoulders I stand on. I'm grateful for the youth. Today here at Cathedral, we collected just over 2,000 blessing or gratitude bags that we're delivering tomorrow to first responders here in Dallas, to hospitals. And we just think that that is what social justice, and that's a sense of pride, both in our community and in the broader community. So I'm really grateful to the Lavender Effect. I know Andy personally, when I was in Los Angeles, worked with him pretty closely. As I've been looking at the celebrity squares, that's what we call it in the UK, the Brady Bunch pictures on here, I've recognized so many of my co-conspirators from Los Angeles, and so grateful to see so many of them. But I just wanted to just give a message, especially to those folks who are looking for a sense of spirituality, and it doesn't have to be Christian, just a sense of spirituality, a sense of higher power in our lives, that the church may have abandoned you, but God never has. And there is a big difference between churchianity and Christianity. Churchianity is made up of rules and regulations. Christianity is made up of this thing we call the Spirit. And so wherever that Spirit blows today, upon each and every one of us, may we find blessing, and may we create a better world, not just for LGBTQ people, but for all people, because that is exactly how God created it right at the very beginning. God saw what God had created in all of its beauty. And remember, it was naked. And God looked at it and said, it was good. No, it was very good. And I want every single person to be able to honor who they are and just know that they are not just good, but they are very good, even when they're naked. So happy Pride. That's the message that I want to leave people with. And so good, so grateful to the Lavender Effect for putting this together, and for, of course, you and Alexandra, who have been just amazing this afternoon, and to so many of those who have shared over these last few hours. So I'll be quiet. I'm a preacher. I could go on for hours.
Thank you, Reverend Neil. Thank you, and hide it back home in Dallas. Yay. Wow, he said that I looked good naked. Is that what he said? No, just
He
kidding.
did not say that, Mel. Jesus, my God. We have, I am going to talk about our next human who should also be naked, quite frankly. This particular young man is another icon. And an EGOT winner, by the way. I don't know if all of you know this, but this is a really interesting, I don't know, well-known, but certainly an interesting fact, that he has written 23 Oscar telecasts. Literally 23 Oscar telecasts. And he won Emmys for 2 of them. Isn't that bizarre? How do you win Emmys for another? I don't know. He also played Edna Turnblad in a tour of... Hairspray, the Hairspray, and on Broadway. I don't know if it was the tour, but I know he was on Broadway, I'm pretty sure. We'll ask him. He's also Bette Midler's best friend. Do we need any other introduction? I don't think so. Ladies and jelly spoons, please welcome Bruce Valanche.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, look
Hi.
Thank God you dressed up.
Good to see you. You know, I originally was following Audra.
Yes.
I assume this was the Broadway diva part of the show.
Well, yes. Well,
I was actually asked to replace her and shuffle along.
No, you're right.
There was a tap dancing issue. Yeah. But, you know, for 2 years, I was a Broadway diva. I was Edna Turnblad, and Patti LuPone is not the only person who steals costumes when they leave. Yeah. These came with me, and I can't take them off. I mean, I just shouldn't, especially for this, because you know I go back to the original Pride parades, and there is no such thing as a Pride parade without a hot mess. And I'm volunteering for the role of hot mess. You know, I go back to when Pride parades were drag queens throwing up on fire hydrants on the corner, and dykes on bikes running into briefcase drill teams, and I mean, you know, and strippers falling off the gay bar float because they were they saw a K-hole at the corner and they wanted to be in it. I go back to those days. Those were the things that got on television. So that was, most people assumed when you told them you were gay, they were waiting for you to fall into the K-hole or throw up on them or something, like, because their only experience of us was on the Pride parades. Nevertheless, she persisted. And the Pride parades became emblematic of just us saying, we're out, we're here, we're visible, we are part of the fabric of American society. And that's the most important thing, because it's impossible to hate somebody face to face. I mean, people can do it, but it takes them a lot more energy than it does to hate in the abstract, or when they're very busy in the middle of the night in their mother's basement being a keyboard warrior.
Yeah, that's right. It's true, isn't it? It takes a lot more, and it takes a lot more energy, too, to hate someone face to face. And people don't want to expend that kind of energy, do they?
That's why it was important that we all come out. I mean, it ended in marriage equality. That was the end result of all of us saying, hey, we're here. And people keep saying to me, I didn't know there were so many gay people. What happened? And I said, well, the mothership landed. And we just all came out at the same time.
We all appeared. You know, it's funny. I asked Larry Kramer once about gay marriage, and I said, what do you think of this thing that's happening? And he's like, it's not for me. And I said, well, I don't really care if it's for you. Right. I said, what do you think about it? And he said, well, it's interesting. He said, I never thought it would be possible. And that's coming from Larry. So it's interesting that there's a whole generation that never occurred.
You know, he was a little older than I, but it was unthinkable. It was, listen, when you consider that we've been campaigning to get married, to have children, and to be in the army, these are the 3 things no gay person ever wanted to do. When did we become square?
That's right.
But it's not so much, obviously, we don't want to do that. We want to have the option of doing those things.
Exactly.
Because that's what first-class citizens have, the options to do these things.
Right. And
that was what the campaign, what the movement always was about.
That's exactly right.
And it's the option also to dance down Santa Monica Boulevard wearing your Edna Turnblad bra if you feel like it.
For the love of God.
A particular Sunday in June.
First of all, don't ever take those off. And second of all, I love you and thank you for being here, my friend. Thank you.
Thrilled to be here. And I'm looking at a screen full of incredibly talented, devoted, wonderful people, many of whom are friends of mine, and I'm just so happy to be in this crowd. This is the
delightful.
best way to spend the day.
Thank you, my love. Thank you so much, Bruce. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Oh my God. Fantastic.
So next we have Bill Siv, who is the president of the Gay Elder Circle. The mission of the Gay Elder Circle is to support and encourage older gay men in becoming mindfully conscious and effective elders. And that just sounds kind of amazing. Hi, Bill. Welcome and happy Pride.
Happy Pride. I'm very glad to be here participating with all this, and I appreciate all the feedback coming back, looking at our elders. But one thing I'd like to say is that when everybody's talking about Stonewall in 50 years, I want everybody to remember the history of Los Angeles. The Black Cat, Jose Sarria, who ran for office way before Harvey Milk. We had other events happening in LA County. And we're in a unique position because we are the elders in the community, and we're still fighting. We're fighting for LGBTQ senior rights. So we do workshops and speak to our community leaders to do that. So it's a very unique place to be in. We look at history, for instance, what's going on with Black Lives Matter and George Floyd. We're looking at back in history to Marlon Riggs and James Baldwin and see what their voices said then and how it relates now.
Thank you so much, and happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Yes. Okay, so Jay O'Doherty, who is representing the non-binary union of Los Angeles to uplift the non-binary, genderqueer, agender, intersex, and gender non-conforming people in Los Angeles.
So as Mel said, my name is Jay O'Doherty. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm the programming director for the Non-Binary Union of Los Angeles. We're a new organization, and I co-run this organization with my colleague Smash Ford, who wasn't able to join the call, but they designed this background. So if you're as impressed as I am, that's the person who did that. Smash Ford is our communications director, and together we run the Non-Binary Union of LA. So we call ourselves Nebula for short, Nebula without the E, because we love space. And as Mel said, our mission is to provide spaces, particularly social spaces, for anybody who exists beyond the binaries of sex or gender. So if you're trans, but you don't identify squarely as a woman or a man, or if you're intersex or agender, we are a community that wants to get to know you. So particularly during this time of physical distancing, when many of us are in need of a little more human connection and emotional support, we've been holding weekly calls, just like this one, for folks across the country to log on and meet other people who are non-binary and agender. And we really have had people from across the country log in, and every week we have new people who are so excited to be in a room, a virtual room, with other people who exist beyond the binaries of sex and gender. So it's so powerful to be on those calls. We also have an active social media presence, including our visibility campaign, which lasted an entire month this year, with a bunch of quotes from folks in our community about what it means to them to live beyond the binary. So if you'd like to check that out or get involved with us or join us on one of our calls, you can find us at _Nebula. It's behind me. And we spell Nebula without the E. And we're on Instagram and Facebook, and we'd love to connect with you. And I just want to say that as we kick off Pride this year with this virtual Pride Parade, we are really offering gratitude for all of our LGBTQIA+ elders who rioted and fought for our rights, so many of the rights that we take for granted today. And we have so much left to fight for, as so many others before me have said. Nebula stands with Black Lives Matter. We stand with the protests that are happening in LA right now. And we know, as others have said, that it's our time to shut up and sit down and show up in whatever ways our leadership is telling us to do. So the final message is, if you are coming out as non-binary or agender or intersex or genderqueer and you feel alone, you don't have to be. We're here. We can't wait to meet you. And we're so excited to see you throughout this month of Pride. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, and happy Pride to you.
The fabulous Michael Shepard, who, by the way, I've known since 1928, right before the great crash. Michael and I have been good friends since Chicago theater days. He also sang at my wedding. That's right, in Chicago. But his formal introduction, he's the artistic director, or he has been the artistic director at Celebration Theater, which is one of the oldest LGBT theaters in the country. For almost 13 years, Christopher Makesh was named executive director of Celebration this past year and has been a longtime company member. And I don't know, I think the whole company is going to do a little thing. I think that's what's happening, yes? So ladies and geraniums, Celebration Theater.
Oh, there I am. Can you see me, Alex?
I can see you, my darling.
There you are.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, honey.
Yep, I'm still gay.
You are.
I am.
I can't believe that would change. Why would that change?
So,
yeah.
We are doing so what we're doing at Celebration is that we're doing a little snippet from a show that we did called Dear Harvey, written by Patricia Lowry, The Life and Times of Harvey Milk.
Oh, great.
Harvey Milk. So we have a little bit of that. But I was told I had a few minutes to, I introduced Christopher Makesh. Christopher Makesh is executive director.
Hello, folks. I, of course, would like to thank the Lavender Effect for including us in this really incredible program today with so many amazing luminaries and fighters of the good fight. Would also like to mention that we are doing 7 days of Pride coming up the 8th through the 14th. If you want to check out celebrationtheater.org and continue the Pride celebrations. But we're just so happy to be here. As you know, our testimonies are sacred, and I think what the Lavender Effect does is so important for our movement and very much related to the narrative work that we do as an organization whose mission is to entertain, inspire, and empower our community in powerful ways. So thank you.
And for those of you who don't really know Celebration Theater, as Alex says, we are the oldest continuously producing lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, two-spirited, allied, asexual, cisgender, gender non-binary theater in the country.
Whoa! That's a lot of letters.
Isn't that crazy? Oh, I have to say something. The excerpt we're doing from Dear Harvey, we actually did for the opening of One City, One Pride, this opening of West Hollywood Pride last week, and it starred Bruce Vilanch and Mayor Lindsey Horvath.
Oh my Lord!
I know, isn't that crazy?
We have your whole cast as guests.
Pretty much, pretty much. I have to, and one other quick thing, because seeing Honey West brought back so many memories, because so I found this in my closet.
Yeah.
This is called, it's one of those tapes that you make at an amusement park. And it's me, you, and Honey West and Jennifer Bradley singing together from 1980s.
Yeah.
And I found this, and I got to figure out a way to get it off of this cassette tape.
Yeah, cassette tape.
Yeah, right.
Get
this out there.
That's brilliant. Let me know when you do that so I can leave the country. Bye.
All right, so I'm going to introduce pieces from Dear Harvey. Go. I'm going to shut down. Go.
I was in college studying one night with a friend of mine who was a lesbian. I was helping her with statistics because she was having a difficult time with it, and it came easy to me. We were at my dining room table in my apartment, and I started talking about my French professor who was clearly a lesbian, clearly a butch lesbian, which really isn't my type, but I had this huge crush on her, and I could not get the words out. I was trying to say I had a crush, and I got to a point, and I'm trying to say I think I'm gay, and I just was stuttering, and I couldn't get the words out. I could not say but I needed to. I knew that I needed to get it out. And so I'm stuttering and I'm trying, and then I stood up and I broke out in sweat, and still I couldn't. It would not. The words just got caught, And 15 minutes later, I'm standing on top of the table, and I'm shaking and I'm stuttering, and I'm still can't say it. And my friend, who was just sitting there looking up at me very calmly, finally says,
Mary, would you like me to say it for you?
No, I'm gonna say it. Actually, I think what she said was,
Mary, are you a lesbian?
yes, I'm a lesbian. Whew.
Fantastic. Thanks, Celebration Theater. Thank you, Michael Shepard. I'm sorry we ran out of time, but we appreciate you coming and sharing your gift with us. Thank you so much. I get to introduce the next diva. I'm very excited about this. Another icon in our illustrious lineup of icons. Betty Buckley. Hold on to your seats, kids. Betty Buckley is in the house. She is a legendary, multi-award winning singer and actress whose career spans film and television and theater. She, of course, won the Tony for her now iconic performance of Grisabella in the musical Cats. She has won a second Tony nomination for her performance in Triumph of Love. She was brilliant in that as well. I write about her a lot, by the way, on my Facebook page. It's a little creepy. She also originated her role in the Broadway production of 1776. He plays the violin, is an anthem when Miss Buckley sings it. She was in Pippin, of course, Song and Dance, and The Mystery of Edwin Drood, which I got to see, which she was, again, phenomenal in. And, of course, her film career, Tender Mercies, where she sings country songs. I mean, the woman can do anything. And, of course, Carrie. Don't even get me started. I can't. We'll be here all day if I just talk simply about Carrie. Her television career spans Supergirl, Pretty Little Liars, what else? The Pacific, and the also iconic 8 Is Enough, where she played probably the greatest stepmother ever, next to Carol Brady, in my personal opinion. And then my wife and I got to see her in her recent triumph as the effervescent Dolly Levi in Hello, Dolly. I want to talk to her just about one little monologue if we have time, because I'm obsessed. And there's something wrong with me. Ladies and geraniums, please welcome Betty Buckley.
I love you, Miss Buckley. I love you.
This, my wife is screaming at me.
I love.
What
Thank
you. Thank you. Oh, it's so great to be here. Thank you, Alexandra. I'm such a fan of yours. I'm just delighted, and thank you for inviting me. And I'm such a fan of Sandra Bernhard and Lily Tomlin and Bruce Valanche and everybody who's here. It's so exciting. And Charles Bush. It's great to be sitting here looking at everyone's image on our participating persons here. So yeah. I'm really, really, really happy and proud to be here. Thank you.
It's really an extraordinary event getting all of you together. And I just want to say, you know, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing because of what's going on in the world in the state that it's in right now. And it's the 50th year for the LGBTQIA march. It's the 51st year of the revolution, but the 50th year of the march. And you are, I know, a great advocate of our community and beloved by the gays. I just want to go on record as saying. And I wonder if you had, I've been asking a lot of participants this question, but I wonder if you had any words for our community at this time during the 50th year with the world in the state that it's in, if you had anything to say to the...
Oh, I'm so grateful for to be a part of what used to be called the allies of this community. And Mel sent me this beautiful email that moved me very much when he said that the Lavender Effect is developing a project specifically about queer family. And that queer family includes sisters, mothers, friends, brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins. You know, my brother, Norman Buckley, is one of the most successful television directors in Hollywood. In fact, he's the producing director, showrunner of and directed 6 episodes of this new Netflix show called Sweet Magnolias. Anyway, I'm infinitely proud of my brother, and our whole family is. He's our favorite son, my favorite brother. No, I should never say I have twin brothers too, and they're going to be like watching this saying, what are you talking about? Anyway, I love Norman Buckley very, very much, and I'm so, so proud of him. But I love this idea that I can legitimately include myself in queer family, because I have been a part of that family since I was very young. My first mentors were Ed Holloman and Larry Howard in Fort Worth, Texas, who had been dancers that toured in several Bob Fosse shows and did Fosse shows for him on Broadway. And they settled in Fort Worth, Texas when they were tired of touring, and they became my teachers and mentors and taught me everything about performance and show business and everything Fosse. And, you know, so that when I got to New York, I was so completely prepared because of studying with them that I got my first job, 1776, my first day in New York City, which was really quite a miracle. But I'm eternally grateful to them. Most recently, Larry Howard just passed away, and I got to visit him in the hospital. But my dearest, I mean, it sounds ludicrous, but you know, my family is the queer family. You know, all my dearest friends, knowing that I was doing this today in the celebration of the 50 years of the Pride Parade, you know, my closest companions are gay persons. And my friend Tom Fennessy wrote me today about the fear and anxiety he's experiencing living in Los Angeles with the riots right now, and so fearful that his studio where he works on Melrose was going to burn down. And it's horrible what our world is going through right now. So we all need to band together and be closer, express our love more than ever before, and support each other more than ever before. I was fortunate to be an Air Force brat, and my dad was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, and I started school in Morocco, North Africa. And so my friends were of every race, ethnicity, you know, and have been gender since I was a kid. So I've never understood the hatred and the contempt and the madness that is coming. It's as though someone ripped a scab off of our culture, and this like infection is just oozing everywhere you turn. That's with this infection of hatred. And I keep telling myself, Betty Lynn, you know, it's been learned. It's a program. People are ignorant, and we have to do our best to, through our living, breathing example of love and kindness and generosity, as people have mentioned several times today, we must keep reaching across and express our love. Which we try to do, but at the same time, we have to say no. I studied with a great spiritual teacher. I have studied with many, actually several. And once in the beginning of my studies of spiritual philosophy and meditation, I was really in a quandary about, well, if God is love, then what is all this about? You know, what is all this craziness about? And how does one handle that when you witness that? And this great teacher said to me, Betty, if you see a man with a stick on the side of the road beating a dog, you don't stand by and watch that happen. You go and you take the stick away. And that said it for me, because I was like, oh, okay, I have a right to stand up and say, no, absolutely not. We will not accept this level of cruelty. We will not accept this level of rejection and hatred and mindless contempt. We won't. We just won't accept it. Our regime currently that's like absconded with our government are hateful monsters. And that's all I can say. It's just enough. And we all have to stand up and encourage everyone to step forward and vote and get this crazy. And I also have heard this too. It's a last gasp of this white privilege. They're so freaking terrified, you know, but it's enough already. It's enough. Anyway, I'm very grateful to be here today. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Mel, for inviting me. Thank you.
I cannot tell you how grateful we all are, Betty, not only for your artistry, but for your humanity. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
I love
you, Betty. Love you, Betty.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Okay, so first up, we've got Brian Deschazor of Overnight Production. Brian is the CEO of that group, and it's a nonprofit that educates, informs, and entertains audiences around the world about international lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community. Hi, Brian.
We produce This Way Out, and it's the first and only international LGBT radio magazine, now in its 31st year, broadcasting on over 150 community radio stations around the world in faraway places as Afghanistan, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. And this week we reported on news from China, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Turkmenistan, and Zambia, and also the nationwide protest here in the US. And on June 25th, we are putting together a queer virtual read-in Pride event where LGBTQ people will be reading 10 to 15 minutes of their favorite queer book to focus on literature and poetry and what that means to the LGBT community. So thiswayoutradio.org is where you can find out more information and hear our program.
Wow, thank you so much, Brian. Thiswayoutradio.org. Okay, thank you, and happy Pride. Okay, next up, we've got Harold and Ellen Kameya. They are from API PFLAG, the longtime PFLAG parents and leaders who helped found the Asian Pacific Islander PFLAG chapter in the United States in 2013. Welcome, Harold and Ellen. Hi, happy Pride.
Happy Pride. We're the Kameya family. I'm Harold.
I'm Ellen. I'm Valerie, and this is my daughter, Lauren.
We're members of the San Gabriel Valley Asian Pacific PFLAG chapter, the first such chapter in the United States. We're led by Marsha Izumi and Sung Se. We carry the signs here in Pride Parade.
This is our Pride Parade signs.
Our monthly meetings are now virtual on Zoom. Please join us.
Valerie came out to us in 1988 when I was a beautiful 48-year-old mother, and now I'm an 80-year-old mother, and she's trying to catch up with me. It's been a long time. So for us, after 2 years of emotional struggle, we learned about the LA PFLAG group, and it was there that they helped us to rebuild our relationship with Valerie.
After much searching, we found churches supportive of LGBTQ people. Ellen and I are members of the First Congregational Church of Long Beach, UCC. Over the past 30 years, we're indeed proud of the accomplishments of the LGBTQ community and their acceptance by the general public. We hope that all communities can come together in peace. Justice for all, happy Pride, and justice for African Americans especially.
I'm really proud of the work my parents have done to support me and the LGBT community. May we all work for peace and justice in all our communities. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, that was lovely. So next up we have a friend of mine, Carrie Harrison, with Corona Alerts. He's a longtime radio host, active broadcaster, investigative reporter, and creator of Corona Alerts, syndicated on nationally daily. His coronavirus radio segments and videos are heard on AM and FM stations and their listeners. Hi, Carrie, are you there?
I am here, Mel, and I am thrilled to be part of this beautiful long float, this cavalcade of cool cats.
Yes. Well, you've got a minute. What would you like to tell us?
Well, I'm thrilled that Betty Buckley and others have mentioned the big mastodon, hairy mastodon in the middle of the room in these times. And the Reverend Neil talked about it earlier, that gay pride was born out of police brutality and being oppressed folks. And here we are now really fully integrated, at least in this country, into the mainstream part of the world. And the mainstream is falling apart. And so we kind of have to pick up the ball now and help them understand how to get it together. So it's a brand new challenge for us, and I'm glad that we're all ready to go. To that end, when I started doing Corona Alerts, I realized, well, that's just, a piece of dandruff on the larger scalp of issues going on, that being the coronavirus. So I reached out and I found a few Nobel Peace Prize nominees and other cool people and put together VIPwebinars.org, VIPwebinars.org. And in this way, we're all given the tools now that 30, 40 million people have been laid off. Glaciers are melting around us and no new jobs on the horizon, etc. How do we navigate these almost impossible shoals of the future, these uncertain, maddening times in which we live, where bigotry now has hair and teeth on it? It's all good, clean fun. So
Wow.
we're trying to help here.
Well, thank you so much, Carrie Harrison, and people will look for Corona Alerts. You've been a longtime media activist for the LGBT community. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to see you here.
Joel and I have known each other for, I don't know, 5 years?
5 years.
Yeah, has it been 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Joel.
Hi, Alex.
Oh
and hey, everyone. This is just amazing. I'm so thrilled to be here amongst such amazing company. I'm going to keep it real quick. Yes, we are celebrating at the center. The center is celebrating its 40th year. The center in Long Beach is celebrating its 40th year this year. So we're really excited about that. And this year we are celebrating our Proud at Home campaign. And we have successfully, just like many other centers across the nation, really transferred all of our services remotely, including our senior services, youth services, legal services, DV services, and then we also are open for HIV and STI testing right now too. So we want to make sure that everyone still has those services available to them. And I just want to say real quick, we know that we are serving a lot of folks that may not have access to get these services. So it is really up to us who do have this access to be checking in on them. And to all those, especially the young people that I serve daily, to all those folks that may be out at the demonstrations today, please be safe. We are here in solidarity with you. We love you. And keep fighting the good fight, and reach out if you need anything. And Black Lives Matter, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Joel. And thank you for everything you do. Alan Downs is the next incredible speaker that we have with us. He is nationally and internationally renowned as the author of The Velvet Rage. He's a clinical psychologist, and his book has been transformative for many, many LGBTQ people all over the world. The name of the book, actually, the whole title is The Velvet Rage, Overcoming the Pain of Growing Up Gay in the Straight Man's World. I'd like to welcome my friend, Dr. Alan Downs.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you. You're a good friend, and it's great to be here. Listen, I'll be really brief. I woke up this morning and a quote from, of all things, The Course in Miracles kind of went through my mind, and it is that your greatest problem is that you believe you're separate. And my work for all my career has been with gay men, and I would say we're the most privileged among the LGBTQ group. And one of the things we're learning, it seems, with what's happening in the world today is that when one of us lacks in privilege, we all lack in privilege. We are not separate from those who are really struggling, and the protests today, and we all stand with them. It really weighs on me today. So I just wanted to share that, and it's great to be here and join the celebration. Thank you, Mel.
Thank you, Alan. And everybody read The Velvet Rage if you haven't read it, right? Alex, I mean, it's the most amazing book. Thank you, Alan. Happy Pride.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy Pride.
Hey! We have another icon.
Oh my God.
Waiting in the wings. I'm very excited. This human is one of my favorites. I feel like I came into my own transness along with this particular artist. Sandra Bernhard, she is an iconic performer. She's currently starring on my pal's TV show, Our Lady J. Pose. It's a little show. You might have heard of it. It's called Pose. It's on FX. She's also been in a million. She was on Roseanne. She was that great character on Roseanne. She was. Her albums are phenomenal. If you've ever heard "Ain't No Mountain High Enough," you haven't unless Sandra has sung it to you. I'm telling you. Please welcome Sandra Bernhard. Hello, my love.
Well, I'm really excited because I thought for a minute a couple of days ago our president was announcing that he was coming out. When he walked out to watch the rocket launching to Macho Man, which of course is the gay anthem. And I thought, this is fun. Oh my God, standing there with another renowned gay figure, Pence, our vice president. But then all of a sudden I realized that Karen Pence, who's a teacher and rejects all gay students, this might have been like a little bit of a shock. So maybe this was just, just a wonderful mistake.
Like a fluke.
And it was exciting though, because Trump actually got a little he got a little dancey on us, you know?
Yeah,
He got a little funky on us. I thought, leading into gay pride, I mean, maybe there's hope.
That would have been the greatest gay day of my life.
I mean, I'm wondering if he's ever read the lyrics to Macho Man or understands what that song's about. I mean, it's completely insane. Anyway, it's as always, gay pride goes on way too long.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to drag it out anymore. Lily, who is one of my best friends, Lily is there. And at least I get to see Lily because we're in New York. You guys are in LA. And it's been hellacious. Our daughter graduated from college last week virtually. And I mean, it's just been it's just been full on. Let's call it like it is.
Yeah.
This has been a shit show.
Yes, it has.
And we're all keeping it together. And I'm not going to lecture because everybody who's here doesn't need a lecture. We're all on the same, platform here. We want equality. We want love. We want respect. We want people to just be able to walk out their doors and fly like birds. And I'm hoping that this year, after all of this shit gets figured out, we get Trump out of the White House. I don't care how enthusiastic you are about Joe Biden. Get your ass out there and get enthusiastic, okay? I know he's an old white man, but his heart's in the right place. He's going to pick a rocking woman to run with him. I'm sure it's going to be a woman of color. Hello, Kamala Harris. I adore you. The shit's going to be fierce. Get excited, because if you don't, it's not going to happen. I'm going to leave you on that. Happy Gay Pride. Enjoy the rest of the show. I love you, Alexandra.
I love you, my darling.
Keep doing what we need to do to get through this year, okay? Power to the people! Yes!
Okay. So Sandra, she's one of a kind, man. That's it. They don't make them any better. Really? Sean is next? Is that right? Oh my God, that's so exciting. Okay. Sean Hayes is an Emmy award-winning actor and producer. He is best known for his role, what's that guy's name? Oh, I think it's just Jack. McFarlane on the NBC sitcom Will and Jack and Grace, for which he won a Primetime Emmy. I haven't won a Primetime Emmy. He also has 6 Golden Globe nominations. I don't have any of those either. He was also in Promises, Promises. He was brilliant in Promises, Promises, by the way, along with that very, very, very tiny Kristen Chenoweth. She's a very small person. Sean is the co-founder of Hazy Mills Production. That makes me really happy because it reminds me of Haley Mills from Angels. That's a great movie with Russell. Go see it. The television production company behind several hit shows like Hot in Cleveland with the Valerie and the Betty. Betty White, I think it's 110 now. I'm not sure. Grimm, also Hollywood Game Night. Love Hollywood Game Night. History of Comedy, and the feature film Lazy Susan, for which he was brilliant, by the way. I've seen it like twice. I fell asleep the second time, but I loved it the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Hayes. Hello, darling.
Thank you. That's so funny. I fell asleep making it.
I do.
It was, I love that movie. Thank you for saying that. But thank you. What a wonderful introduction. And how great that we have this history together that not a lot of people know. I used to come see you in Chicago when I was like 18 years old.
Bless your heart.
Yeah. At, what was it called? Cairo. Remember Cairo?
Yes, I do remember. And the Cairo was a heterosexual a nightclub that hired the brown trans lady to come and sing, and all of these straight people would come to my show and this was a long time. They didn't really know what to do with me at all, and there I was singing, you know, The Man That Got Away, and sitting on top of the piano, and they just...
So cool. You were and are and still and always will be a huge pioneer to this community. So thank you.
That's very kind.
It's true.
I appreciate that, love.
It's true.
Listen, this is our 50th year, our 50th celebration.
I know, and I turned 50 on the 26th of June.
Did you really?
I will, on the 26th.
Ooh.
50 and 50. 50 on 50. We got to do a special.
Okay, let's do it. 50 on 50. I want to know I've been asking everybody this, what you want to say, if anything, to the LGBTQIA plus community during this 50th year. What do you want to say?
Stay strong, stay together. If you have any kind of nervousness, fear, or anything, please reach out. It's not a bad thing to ask. Just ask somebody for help or for a companionship or whatever, somebody to help guide you. Go online. There's so many community outreach programs through the LGBT community in LA, especially the LGBTQ Center is one of the best in the nation. So please, 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 there's always somebody in your court. So that's all it takes. Just ask. Don't be afraid to ask.
Times have changed, haven't they, in our community? There's a lot more opportunity for us to get help. There's a lot more places, safe places for us to go. And I wonder if you could talk to, just before I let you go, just to the kids, and when I say kids, I mean 10 years old, 15 years old, 18-year-old LGBTQIA kids. Do you have any words for them?
Yes, for sure. Look, first of all, if you can't see us, hear us. If you can't hear us, but you can see us both, look at just the people that are on here right now. We were all you. We were all you at one point, and nervous and scared about sharing who we were with and who we are and all of those things. And so I always say, I go talk to students at college, at my alma mater a lot, at Illinois State University, and I always point to myself, I'm like, if this idiot can make it through all of that in an Irish Catholic family, that we had to go to church every Sunday, and I got through it. And if I can do it, you can definitely do it.
That's it. That's right. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for waiting and being so patient.
Of course. Love you all. Hi, Lily.
Love you so much, Sean.
I love
Thank
everybody.
you. Happy
Hi,
Pride.
Lindsey. Hi, guys. Bye.
Oh, my goodness. We have another icon waiting in the wings. And this human's been waiting for a while now. So we're going to get right to them. I'm very excited about this because Chad, I don't know that Chad knows this. Chad Michaels is next. I don't know that Chad knows this, but I've been a long time fan of Chad Michaels. I'm a little fanned out. I'm fanned out through everyone that's been here, but I'm a little fanned out right now. Chad is the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars season 1, and is also a celebrity illusionist, but Chad is a pioneer. And those of you who don't know Chad, get to know Chad. You can go on the YouTube and find Chad all over the freaking place. Please welcome the diva, the legend, Chad Michaels.
Wow. Hi, Alexandra. What an
My
honor.
God, I'm so...
No, I'm gagging right now because to me, you are such a role model and so inspirational. And just to spend a few minutes with you today, it's my honor. Thank you for having me. Lavender Effect, everybody.
My heart is like, it's, if you could feel I'm like, it's Chad
I want to feel it.
I'm so excited to meet you. First of all, you look stunning.
Thank you.
There's a hard G on stunning when it's more than stunning. Stunning. G.
Thank you. I'm starting to melt, though.
Are you? I know, aren't we all? Please. My wings were up here when we started, and now they're down. What do you have? I've been asking everybody this, but what do you have to say, if anything, to the LGBTQIA humans on this 50th celebration? Anything you want to tell the kids?
Well, I just want to tell everybody to be strong, and I want everyone to find their voice. I think, speaking for myself, watching this revolution happening in the streets that has been delayed far too long, I'm looking for my voice too, and I'm looking to do the right thing. I want to use my platform with intent and with respect. And right now I'm looking toward, my role models and my elders in my community for advice. And I just want to encourage everyone, if you have a platform, use it right now, because it's now or never. It's do or die. And don't, like Sean said, don't be afraid to ask. I'm watching this go down thinking I am this cisgender, gay, white male. How do I make a difference in this? And do it respectfully and do it with intent. And that's where I'm at. And I just encourage everyone to find your voice. I worry a lot right now about our gay and transgender youth that are on the streets right now. That's been heavy on my heart. Our isolated elders. It's a rough time. So I just want everyone to be strong and find your voice and fight.
I'm so happy to finally see your face.
Thank you.
Makes me really happy, my darling. Thank you for coming, for being a part of this.
Thank you, Lavender Effect. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Andy. And I know Amy's back here. They're going, cut that number he was going to do. We're cutting it.
Bye, Chad. Love you.
Thank you, love.
Alexandra, let's do lunch. Bye.
Yes, please.
All right. Bye.
Lunch with Chad Michael so much. What? Oh, creative core. Yes. I'm so excited about meeting Chad Michaels. I'm a professor at the University of Southern California, but before I was at USC, I was at the Long Beach. What was it called?
California State University.
California State University, Long Beach. CSULB. I'm a terrible person. He was a student of mine there, and he was one of my favorite students. He is creative, he is kind, compassionate, he's empathetic, and he's incredibly courageous. He's part of a group called the Creative Quarantine. Benji Kaufman, are you there? Oh, is Laura with you? Or Laura's with you too?
Yeah. Hi.
Benji and Laura.
Yeah. So basically, since I was a little girl, I've always turned to music to help me cope in times like these, especially. So we were brainstorming a way to create something, some sort of way for us to do that, especially with the technology that we have today, and to provide that kind of healing space for others as well. So we created Les Mis in Quarantine Stream, which is a very ambitious, crazy idea of putting the entirety of Les Mis into a YouTube video, basically.
So we have a little over 24 actors whose shows and productions were all shut down immediately, and we're out of work. You can see by our background. This is from our video One Day More, but they filmed the entirety of their roles by themselves in isolation. So these actors have never met each other, they've never performed with each other, they don't even know what they sound like. So it's kind of that unique experience that on June 6th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, on our YouTube page, Creative Quarantine, you can watch the full live stream. It's going to be free.
Yep.
We just wanted to find a way to create, to get people's voices heard, to get people to share their stories. And it's available to anyone. And you can find us on Instagram @_creative quarantine _.
This is extraordinary. And the reason I wanted you two on was because as artists, especially during this time, there are portals for us to go through to create our own work, that things are not hopeless and that we do have power in our artistic voice, and that we can make things happen, because you all did this with literally nothing. You started from nothing and then created this beautiful gift to share with the rest of the universe. Listen, you know, both of you are, you know, you had me as a professor, a mixed race trans woman as a professor. And so, and I can't tell you how remarkable that experience was for me, just first of all, just as an actor, but also as a teacher. And I wonder if you have, as allies of the queer community, if you had any words for your generation, artists, queer artists, or allies of your generation, if you could speak to them about what they can do right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, right now there's a lot of people who think that their voice doesn't matter, or think that their voice isn't important, but everybody's voice is valid. Everybody has a story that they can share and they need to share. And even if you think nobody's listening, we're listening. We want to hear your story. Please share it with us and do it however you need to.
Thank you, Benji. Thank you, Laura. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Alex.
Charles Busch is a playwright, a novelist, an actor, a cabaret entertainer, and a drag pioneer. And not just a drag pioneer, but a pioneer, period. He's changed the landscape and the dialogue of how to speak about drag, in my opinion. He's Tony nominated for The Tale of the Allergist's Wife, a play I use in scene study all the time, by the way, and the author and stars of such plays and films as Vampire Lesbians of Sodom, which I did 150 years ago at the Royal George Theatre, along with Jackie Hoffman, and Psycho Beach Party. And can I just say, Die Mommy Die? If you have not, listen children, if you haven't seen Die Mommy Die, A, you cannot be my friend, and B, go see it. Ladies and germs, Charles Busch.
Hello, darling.
Hello, my friend.
Oh my gosh, it's been a while since we got together in New York.
It's been, I know, when we had that din-din, remember?
Oh, it was so lovely.
That was really, when,
changed since then.
Well, when we could be in the same room and touch each other's hands.
I know.
I know. How's it going there in New York for you, my friend?
Well, I'm getting a little squirrely here, you know, living in solitary confinement. But, you know, I've been acting a little weird. You know, the only time I go out is to go to the supermarket and, you know, masked. And I find myself I'm so starved for some sort of connection that I'm speaking very loudly in the middle of the aisle, like, oh, the lettering is so small on this bottle, hoping that somebody might engage me in a conversation. I'm turning into that person. I've turned into that person.
New York is very different now, isn't it? Because it's you know, it's usually so kinetic and there's such an energy, and now you know.
It's like you could shoot a dystopian, you know, movie with the empty streets. Yeah.
It's bizarre. But it is starting to come back to life. Is that true or not true?
I couldn't tell you because I'm stuck here like Rapunzel in her tower. You know, and people occasionally come below my window and shout out, and you know, it's like the old, you know, there used to be the women's house of detention on 7th Avenue, and evidently all the whores would be calling out, you know. Whereas that's me now. Just hello, hey.
It's brilliant. You've turned into an old whore. Congratulations.
I've turned into. I've always been an old whore. When I was a young whore, I was an old whore.
Yes, please. Who are you talking to? Before I let you go, I've been asking everyone the same question. So I want to know, during this strange time that we're living in, we are also celebrating 50 years of this Pride March. And I wonder if you have any words you'd like to leave the LGBTQIA community with, anything you want to say?
Just in my own lifetime, you know, we got through, I feel like I'm about to sing I'm Still Here, but, you know, I remember the whole Nita Bryant thing when I was in college. And then, you know, then of course the AIDS crisis and all the years of that. And you know, we've seen gay marriage, so many wonderful things have happened. And then, of course, now we're in these crazy times with this kind of fascist government. But we will endure. We get through. We're very special people. We're creative, and we see things in a different way because of how we've been raised. how, you know, just being a queer person, we've experienced things that other people haven't, and if it doesn't destroy you, it makes you stronger. Yeah, I don't know if that's very inspirational, but as my friend Joan Rivers said to me, said, you know, one day you're down, next day you're fucking up, and you're fucking up. You know, you just hope the day that you're up.
That's exactly right. Fucking up, quite frankly. Thank you, my love. Thank you for taking time out of your day. I appreciate it. All of us do.
Nice seeing your face. I love
You as well, my dear. We'll see each other soon, I promise.
All right, darling. Bye-bye.
Happy Pride, love.
Happy Pride.
So, Alexandra, next we have up a friend of mine. He's also on the board of the Lavender Effect, Mr. Steve Krantz. He is a PFLAG dad, a very proud PFLAG dad. And besides being on the board of the Lavender Effect, he is the vice president of PFLAG LA and the founder of LA LGBT Youth Advocates Coalition. So we welcome Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hi. Thank you very much. It was great to see my colleague Kathy Godwin of PFLAG National today, an organization that I've been part of ever since my son came out as a teenager over 20 years ago. At that time, my family and I, we really didn't understand what it meant to be LGBT. Luckily, there was a PFLAG near where we lived in South Florida. And about 15 years ago, we immigrated to the great state of California, where I am grateful for its U.S. leading support for its LGBTQ citizens. And as part of my PFLAG volunteerism, as Mel said, I established the LGBT Youth Advocates Coalition, also known as the YAC. We focus on sharing our events and activities for LGBT youth and publishing them in a consolidated online events calendar. And the quote that I'm most proud of, which is the essence of the YAC, is if one lonely gay kid connects with one event that brings them joy and companionship, our efforts are worthwhile. We have over 30 members, including PFLAG Los Angeles, the Latino Equality Alliance, the LGBT Center, Camp Brave Trails, and the Christchurch to the Valley, to name just a few. Although we are missing today our annual march down Santa Monica Boulevard in the LA Pride Parade, where we PFLAGers get the most rousing welcome. I'm truly enjoying this virtual experience as the board chair of the Lavender Effect. We hope that all of you in cyberspace are enjoying it too. Back to you, Alexandra. Mel, back to you.
Yeah, thank you for all your hard work. You're truly a role model for everybody as a PFLAG dad. Wayne Benson with Truth Wins Out is the founder and executive director of that organization, Truth Wins Out, and they are dedicated to combating the ex-gay myth and the use of conversion therapy. Thank God. Wayne Benson.
Well, I just want to say how honored I am to be here, and it's been an interesting week. I'm in Philadelphia. We had a lot of protests, and I just want to underscore how important it is for all of us to stick together, and how there are forces out there that want to keep people down, whether because they're African American or women or because they're LGBTQ. And by standing up for everyone and sticking together, we can beat back these forces like Donald Trump and William Barr that want to keep people discriminated against and down. And I think we need to stand up for what the real America is. And that is one that will go forward treating people with dignity and respect. And I think everyone needs to get out and vote. We have to change the regime that is in there right now. They are dangerous. They are provoking everybody, and we need to stand up for one another. And that is how we win, by doing this together.
It's really been a privilege and an honor to have all of the activists and all of the groups. I know Andy, who's our executive director here at the Lavender Effect, has been, just overwhelmingly grateful for everybody's support. We are the Lavender Effect. We're at the lavendereffect.org. Anybody who would like to support the work that we're doing towards preserving and celebrating LGBTQ history and heritage. You can find out more by going to our website and making a donation if you are motivated. We feel like it's really important to capture the stories of our elders while they're still here. So thank you all so much. And I know you've got somebody really amazing coming up.
I'm very excited. This is a thrill for me for a couple of hundred reasons, which I won't get into. I'll just tell you that Lily Tomlin is an actress, a comedian, a writer, a singer, and a producer. She began, of course, her iconic, now legendary career on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In from 1969 to 1973. Her performance in Nashville won her several awards. An incredible film. Her performance as Margot Sperling in The Late Show won her the Best Actress Award at the Berlin International Film Festival, and nominations for the Golden Globe and BAFTA Award for Best Leading Actress. And of course, her signature role with her then partner, now wife, Jane Wagner, another genius, in a show titled The Search for Signs of Intelligent Life in the Universe. Soup, art, soup, soup, art, soup. That's right. I know what I'm doing. Won her the Tony Award for Best Lead Actress in a Play. She was also known as the voice of Ms. Frizzle in the children's series The Magic School Bus. And in 2014, she was given the Kennedy Center Honors. Ladies and jelly spoons, the iconic, legendary, behind a fan, Lily Tomlin. Darling!
Thank you.
My
now I must be going.
Okay. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Well, you look amazing, A. And B, is that just your living room, how it is?
This is my gay niche in the house.
Yeah.
We keep it here to remind us that we have obligations.
That's right. Well, as what we do. My friend,
famous.
You know, first of all, I've waited a lifetime to talk to you, and I have a million questions, and we have time for one. So here's the thing. We live in tumultuous times.
Yes.
As the adage goes, may you live in interesting times. That has certainly come true in abundance. And I'm curious, for someone who has had the kind of career, not just artistically, but politically, that you have had. What can you say about what you have seen, and perhaps what you hope to see on this 50th anniversary?
Well, I can't even speak to what I've seen, because so often it's like I'm out of reality. I went on Laugh-In about 6 months after Stonewall, and I've lived through everything that's transpired since then. I lived through an era when I never, like whoever it was you mentioned that said Larry Kramer never dreamed that marriage would be an option for gay people. And I've seen that come true. And I know that that's because of the younger people behind us who have been so absolutely committed to being visible and being a part of the culture and being dominant as a community. Jane and I, my partner Jane and I, we founded the cultural arts at the Gay Center. And did you mention that in your intro? I don't want to mention it again if you did.
I did not.
Okay, so we've been lucky enough to be able to do stuff like that. And so we've been active with the Gay Center for a long, long time. And blah, 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 and I can't even go on. I was just thinking about my friend Allie Willis, who died on Christmas Eve, who was just an absolutely off-the-wall kind of maverick person. And suddenly passed through my mind was Susie Orman, because she was friends with Susie Orman. And I've been thinking, golly, I hope that Jane and our money holds out, because God knows what will happen to us. Here we are, we're in our 80s, we're on the downhill slide. Well, that's what everyone tells us, but we probably aren't. We probably will live through the absolute triumph of the anti-fascists, and everybody wonderful and beautiful will rise up above this, and we'll still be here to see it, and our frail hands will be reaching out to them. but we will reach out. And that's about what I've got to say. There's nothing more. And then I brought this along because someone told me that you have to be straight to make this come together. And I thought everybody out there should use this as their gaydar from now on. Honestly, wants to say, they can't even afford me. So, I love you all. You've hung in there all. It's been wonderful. I've been sitting here watching all these incredible people and saying wonderful things. And only thing intelligent that sprang to my mind was something, and it just rose up on my desk here, which is just filled with junk and stuff. And I had written this down about maybe 2 years ago. I don't remember. But cruelty and injustice are always our business. And then I look at everybody. I mean, Bruce was so great sitting there in his, his get-up, his drag, and all the other people that when I thought, and I said to my assistant, Paul, I said, I've been around for 50 years now as a sort of famous person. And I said, and gay people have not changed in terms of spirit and their sense of humor and the carryings on that they were willing to do. And I was just I'm so grateful that I've been a part of that and been able to be influenced by the spirit of gay people, especially gay men. I mean, gay men are outrageously wonderful.
Isn't it great to be part of a family that literally has the loudest voice in art ever?
Ever. And it seems like it's getting louder, but more mellifluous.
That's good word. Nice use of that word. Really.
Anyway, I'm so glad that you had me and had me waste most of my day.
I know.
I have so many important things to do. Sanitization jobs that I have out in
yes,
by the front door.
Yes, that's correct. You've got a busy day ahead of you, my friend. Go take care of that. Thank you so much, Lily.
Thank you, Alexandra. I long to go to lunch with you when you go to lunch with whoever it was that was going to have lunch with you. Who was it?
It's going to be a great big gay lunch.
I know who it is already. Make it lunch with me.
Check.
You, Amy.
Done.
You're the one having, no, you've had lunch with her. I want to have lunch with her.
We'll have the biggest gay lunch since Thanksgiving. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much. Love to everyone.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Yes.
And I actually didn't know what I was going to say until I heard Lily. Isn't that funny? I turned to Chris Ann, and first of all, I want to thank Andy. I want to thank Andy, and I want to thank you, Mel. I also want to thank Amy Rowell, for you all don't know what she's been doing behind the scenes. It has been Herculean, so thank you, my friend. And my wife, Chris Ann, who's been at my side going like Helen Keller on steroids. It's been fantastic. But I didn't know what I was going to say until I spoke to Lily, and here's why. I'm 58 years old, and I was born in Inglewood, California. I come from a middle-class family, mixed race, but we passed as white. So my whole life, I was brought up in a very affluent or semi-affluent way. And I grew up believing I had privilege just enough to get me by. And then as people started to tell me that what I was and what I looked like was not only different but wrong, I began to believe it. I internalized it as the truth. So I believed that what I wanted, what I desired, what I needed was wrong. So I held that with me for the longest time. And it wasn't until I turned to art, as most LGBT people do, that I realized that I had a voice. And people like Lily Tomlin and Sandra and Audra and Betty and Sean, who, as he said, we've known each other for the longest time. Until they started to get louder, I started to find a way through my own shame. We're living in a time right now of great chaos and pain. But can I say something to you? It's not new. I know it feels new. It's not new. Every birth is painful, and every birth requires revolution, because that's where change is born. We've been through this before, folks. We've survived it, and we've led each other through it. If we do not see each other clearly, I mean queer or not, black, white, blue, purple, if we do not see each other, we do not honor each other. So here's what I have to say. Find your voice and activate it in the way you understand it. There's no right way to be an activist. There's no right way to be an ally. There's no right way to be an advocate. There's no right way to be queer. There's no right way to be straight. There's no right way. Here's the great news. Everyone's making it up. Everybody. Nobody's got the answer. Nobody wrote the book on how to. Nobody has the plan. Nobody. Unless you believe in some divine force, which I do, that guides you. But nobody has the answer. So we must work together. We are each other's revolutions, people. That's who we are. We do not separate our marches. It doesn't happen. There were heteronormative people marching in that parade with us 50 years ago. There were parents marching with us 50 years ago. So when you see a revolution, it's just like we heard today. When someone is beating someone with a stick, you walk over and you take the stick away. Nobody's going to ask what color you are before you take the stick away. Nobody's going to ask who you're in love with or who you're sleeping with before they take the stick away. So we have to see each other in order to honor each other. So let's take time, everybody, to celebrate not only who we are, but where we come from and where we're headed. All of us as humans. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for coming to our parade. Thank you, Lavender Effect, for birthing this idea. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Chrisanne, and all of our guests. Thank you. Have a beautiful Pride.